Hi, this is Imagination with her weird shit. So this I like. This I like. I had an epiphany. Oh, I love epiphanies. Epiphanies are the best things in the world. There are two kinds of epiphanies. There's a spectrum of epiphanies. You have small epiphanies, you have little boop boop epiphanies, and then you got the big mother load of epiphanies. Those ones. Those are the eureka. I have said eureka twice in my life. You have no idea. It's a philosopher thing. It's like, these are the words of gold. These are the words of gold. You don't use these words unless it's big. And I have used them twice. You have no idea. It's like a privilege. It's a privilege to say eureka. Eureka is the thing you say when you discover time travel. That's a eureka moment. You have a eureka moment when you discover the cure of mental illness. And that's that. I did it again when I realized, oh my God, I found the molecule of the logic code. The molecule. I found the microscopic, what comes after a molecule, what comes after an atom, what comes after all of it, the logic code. I found the code. I can do anything with this thing. It's called the breath. It's called the breath. It's the breath. Oh my God, this is like gorgeous shit here. I can see it too. Beautiful. We're talking the most beautiful, gorgeous thing in all the world. I just want paintings. I want a triptych, a quadric, where it's just a point and then deconstruction and then integration and then a point. Oh my God, most beautiful artwork in all the world. That is the most beautiful thing to me. And you know what that is? That is growth. That is growth. And I was just talking to my persons, my bonded one. I don't know what to call him. I have no words for it. And growth really is the most beautiful thing in the world. My partner has a devastatingly significant fear of love. I have been witnessing what happens to a person when they are afraid of love. That is what got me into my research this deep. I asked the question, how, when love is the thing that cures you, what do you do when you're afraid of it? So I Googled it. The Google did not have anything. So I reverse engineered it. And when I did that, I found the logical life code. I found out that the core of all, the very thing that is love itself, that's what love is. It's logic. It's growth. Love's real name is growth. That is really what she is. Her true name is growth. That is the very first word of all of us. Grow. Just grow. With growth, all things are possible. With growth, all things are possible. Now, over my research, I went through stages. I would go through a God is real, I believe in God stage. And I went through okay, Christ is like the best hippie brother I've ever had. Christ is amazing. I believe that Christ is Adam incarnate. Christ and Adam, I believe they were the same energy. I believe Christ and Adam were the same energy in two different people. Specifically breaths, actually. You cannot break logical code. You can't do it. You cannot break logical code, which means it's the beginning and the end. You cannot break logical code. It doesn't make any logical sense. You can't break logical code. You cannot break logical code. Thus, it is infinite and immortal. But it's not a ring. A ring has a pattern to it. Oh, a lot of people don't know this. The pattern of a ring is point all the way around. That is the pattern of a ring. Point and then all the way around. The Celtic knots, point all the way around. They took the long way around. That is the mathematical pattern of a circle. Point and... But that's not the code. That's not the complete code. That's not at all the right code. The right code is point and then integrate and then disintegrate and then point. And as soon as you do that, because it's growing, it stacks onto each other. But it's not stacking onto each other in all affinity. It's not point and then eternity. Guys, it's not point and then eternity. You have the wrong mathematical pattern. The true mathematical pattern of the universe is point, disintegration, integration, point. That's the entirety of the universe. So the code goes on forever because the code is eternity. It's eternity. I found eternity. That is the most beautiful word I have ever heard in all my life. Love is eternal. Oh, it was literal, guys. It was literal. The love code is the same as the eternal code. The love code, eternal love, and they lived happily ever after. That is how I know that my love and I have true love, because that's where I found it, inside of our love. I reverse engineered our love because I wanted to know if it was real. It was because I found this code, man. Because I found this code. And it's real. Because if it wasn't real, this code wouldn't be here. So now I know that this will grow. Because love always comes back to the beginning. Always. So there will be a day when he comes back. And now I know, oh, he will. Because there would be a different code here if it weren't. And then I took that code and I plugged it into my entire logical code inside of my mind. And it just fixed everything in my brain. And I wondered why. And it's because this gorgeous code that is growth. It's so beautiful. Because of this code, it can be plugged in anywhere because it's the same code. It's pure love. You plug it in and it literally rejects. It defines. Because the very first lesson we learn in life, the very first one, is what is love? That's the first lesson. But we don't know what love is. So we're all looking around for love. And a lot of us have the wrong definition in place right there at that beginning. But I know that this is the very first code. So this should cure you. I can set you a role model. Mother, are you my mommy? Yes, I am your mommy. And the first logical code is love. But love's real name is growth. So look through your lives, look through your past. This is going to be real deep for a lot of people. The parts where you flourished were your love parts. And the parts where you shrank and deteriorated, that is not love. That is not love. That is disintegration because you disintegrated. Look at the times when you grew. You flourished. You were strongest. That is love. That is being in love. That's growth. Learn how to sustain here and you will always be in love. But then if you disintegrate, that's when you're not growing. Love is growth. The opposite of growth is disintegration. Growth and disintegration. But integration has to happen in order for growth to take place. Growth is the entire process. This is what's inside growth. It is the single, condensed, everything that you are when you were a sperm. That is your Plato's point. It is you integrated. And then you got some chick named mom pregnant. And let that fuck with your Oedipus Rex complex for a long time. Logic is a beautiful thing. And then it became you. It became you. And it did it through them taking that code, the sperm, and growing it. But growing was not just the one. No, that's not the right order of operation. You had to disintegrate first, and then you could grow. So the disintegration process occurs inside the womb of the mother. You are Plato's point. You are a sperm. As soon as the fertilization process takes place, you have the deconstruction process because the code's already there in the sperm. So now you just have to deconstruct the sperm to get the actual code for you. So now your very first cell is using logic to start. God, this is so beautiful. Using logic to start the deconstruction. And they're building you until you get to the end. Now, mommy has to give birth. There is the birthing, which is crossing over to the other side of the mirror. You are now on the other side of the mirror. Now begins the reconstruction stage. Now you're going to grow. Hopefully, nope. We stop at 2 years old. 2. We're fine when we're going mum, 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 mum. And we're fine so long as we're going ba, 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 da, da. But the minute we say no, every boundary violation, every non-consent occurs. Now you've got a rape culture. It's right here. That's not growth. That is disintegration. Your cells have confused birthing and safetying of the womb, where you could disintegrate, with the other side of the mirror. On a cellular level, this is catastrophic indeed. Because based off of my calculations, we are all going to get fatally sick very soon, and that would be the plague. That's what I see. I see the era of plague ahead of us, and it's all because of mental illness. I know what's coming. You should be scared. You should be really scared. We are looking at the entire disintegration of humanity. And I'm starting to see the very first signs of it. And I'm looking at this going, this is disintegration on a global scale. We are a cell and we are dying. We are a single cell and we have apoptosis right now. Now, I know how to reverse it, but we've got to move fast because we're out of time. And if I am scared, then you should be scared too. Rule number 1, do not make the children cry. Do not make the children cry. That would be a catastrophe. Yeah. What we need is education, which I have, and a plan. Don't panic. Thank you, Douglas. Don't panic. Do not make the children cry. Do not panic. I already have the solution. I already have the cause. I already have literally everything. I believe I just discovered the cure to all diseases this morning. The science is already uploaded on my YouTube channels. I'm already breaking it down. I officially have ideas and thoughts faster. Oh, thank God that I can finally communicate to you with my own time. Oh my God, that was so hard. Wow. Our language center has its own age. Oh my God. And that also has to be aligned. That's why we are slowing down that much, guys. Wow. I only just now arrived at perfect alignment where my communication center with my brain, my mind, my imaging, and my synapses are now moving fast, which meant I had to deconstruct all of language into a few words so I could make the connection, so that I could communicate as fast as I talk. Wow! I can finally communicate to you as fast as I think. Now, this is how fast I think. I can see everything deteriorating within a few minutes of total disintegration from cell apoptosis, and I can see it on a global level. We are dying, and I'm scared. And I have not been able to communicate any of this to you because I was so degenerated that I couldn't even communicate with the speed of my own thoughts. That is what is wrong with all of you. You cannot communicate as fast as you can think. Do you really think Mother Nature would have been so stupid as to not have something for that? Think about it. Mother Nature is so much smarter than that. You should know better. Why are we thinking faster than we can communicate? Think, guys, think. Just ask the question. I'm not going to give you the answer. I'm not going to say anything else. You've got to figure this out. And then ask yourself why you can't figure it out. Because that's going to reverse it. That's going to reverse it. That is going to be reversing it. But every time I tried to say anything to you, I could feel the lie because it was incorrect. I was so logical that I couldn't communicate as well as I could logicize. So I was making calculations in my brain that were going so fucking fast, and my communication centers could not keep up because my communication had been stunted that badly. Because I was told not to talk. I was told I was not to talk on like, Tommy, can you hear me level. I was Tommied when I was a child. That was my life. I was Tommy. And I could play one fucking hell of a pinball game. My pinball game is logic. I can do to logic what Tommy can do to pinball machines. And I can't tell you why. I don't know how. I don't know if I was born this way or if I was made this way. And that answer's really bothering me so much. I want to know if I was born or made. And I don't know because I'm different. So I'm the archetype or I'm the biggest freak of all. Oh, and the irony. The irony. And I'm just now realizing how bad our stunted growth is, because this is all it is. We have a serious case of stunted growth. Our growth is so stunted that our brain has decided to resource partition our own brains. Yeah. That is how bad it is. We are growing now so slow that we have started the apoptosis degenerative process on our own brains because we weren't using them. That's embarrassing. And everyone's got it. Everyone is officially so stupid. This is it, including me. Every one of us is officially so stupid that our brains went, oh, you're not using this. Let's reject it. And when you really take that in of, wow, and this is the best part. This is the best part. I haven't figured this part out. Like, this is an hypothesis. Everything up to there I can logically prove. This is officially the hypothesis. I'm trying to figure out if this is like, it seems too orchestrated. Like, this is a fail-safe, isn't it, nature? This is your fail-safe. This is, they have officially gotten to the point of complete stupid that if they pass this point, they will go extinct. Let's do a fail-safe called a logic loop. If ever it gets to this point, and they crammed it into every one of our brains genetically, and then that genetically got passed down from all of us, and here we are today. Physics is fun. I don't know if this is physics. I think this is like mutated morphed physics on steroids physics. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want my physics to be a fucking badass. What is this quantum physics? Classic physics. Like, oh, you sound so stuffy. I want make things big go boom physics. I want like imagination physics. Yeah. God, I love you scientists, but some of you really need some fucking color. Where's the art in you? Every scientist has an assignment to go out and get themselves art. Like, I mean now. That's all the scientists have got to do. That's going to be the fastest fix to this problem. This is how we're going to fix the planet. Super fast, super cool, super awesome. Like a Doctor Who episode meets Rick and Morty. Why has this not happened yet? Why? No, I want immediate answers. I want to know why the fuck this marriage has not taken place. Why hasn't Doctor Who gotten together with the Rick and Morty people and just merged this? I want this in my life. We need this in my life. We all need this in my life. Yes, that will make me happy. All right, anyway, so, oh, that's gorgeous. So that's exactly what this is. That's exactly what this is. I'm sitting here trying to calculate this, and I had to stop stopping because, oh God, I'm now at the point where I don't logically understand. God damn it, words. Words. You're behind again in words, and words is going, I'm coming, logic, I'm coming, I'm gonna make it. And it does this. It really does this. This is what's going on inside of our brains. The words get caught up and they stop. And the logic is like, oh, finally, I'm like, all right. And you start jogging again. And logic is going to, and then it stops again. Words. And then words are all the way. And the logic can only go so far without the words, because I really love my story. This is a great story about words and logic. Okay, so then words and logic have this realization, and this is it. This is the oh shit moment. It's the moment when you have to lay down your own next logical code, but you can't do that unless you have the education and the words. But because you don't have the logical comprehension to lay down the right stone, you have no idea what it is you want to manifest. So as a result, you get stuck, no longer manifesting your very own road, because your logic is officially at a further point than your words, which means your logic and your words all have to move at the same speed, because that is also the speed of your synapses. So the question is, are you talking at your own speed of synapses? Scientists really need to study that, like right now. Like yesterday would have been great. Like now. If you are a scientist in my office, you take that to the fucking office. This is how we're going to do it. I don't have time to climb a network. I don't have time for that bullshit. What I have time for is to talk to you and start giving you direction, because no one upstairs is listening. I've checked. I took this to NIM. I took this to WHO. I took this to every fucking government official you can think of, and they don't want it. They are officially so stupid, they don't even know what I'm saying up there. So, here's it goes. We are on our own. And I'm going to show you exactly what it is that we need to do at the fastest way to get this done. Scientist, all of my work is available on my website, onitimagination.com. It's all there. Everything is documented. There's a certain point where I officially cannot type as fast as I can think. My thinking was out of alignment. I'm getting there, guys. Still working on this. I'm getting tired. It's starting to slow down again. Do you see it happening to me? It's happened to you. It's a lot worse. Can you think as fast as you can talk? You need to ask why, because that is the answer. That is everything. That is fucking dangerous. You cannot ever think faster than you talk. Why are you thinking faster than you can talk? Mother Nature never would have allowed that. You ask that question, you do the logic, and that will unravel like you would not believe. I am starting to see monsters and imaging. I'm starting to see it. The optic center is not in my eyes. They're in yours. The optic centers are in your eyes, not mine. Your words give me my optic centers. Your words give me my optic centers. I'm going to say that until we all get it. My words give you your optic centers. You see what you see because I give you the words to see them. The magical code, logical code, that is inside the word matches the descriptor. That is a law of this science, whatever the fuck this science is. That should be its official name, whatever the fuck this science is. Oh, that will be the official name, guys. Whatever the fuck this science is. Oh, no, it's going down. Whatever the fuck this science is. Whatever the fuck. Oh, no, that's my official name for it. Whatever the fuck this science is. Oh, my God, I am so happy. I want to cry, guys. Whatever the fuck this science is. I am the founder of whatever the fuck this science is. I am so happy. This is my dream come true. All right. I don't have to come up with a name anymore. I've been worried about that. I got to a certain point. I hit vitology and I went, this is not the right word for this. This is something else. And then I found human propagation. Nope, bigger than that. And I got to a point where I got to the beginning and I went, I'm on a whole new science here. I don't know what science this is. Hey guys, I found a new science. I found a new science. I don't have a name for it. And that's what I'm trying to tell everybody. And I'm so excited. But you have to integrate all of it to get to this point. And once you're at Plato's point again, you can go, oh, that's its name. Whatever the fuck the science is, that is going to condense into one word very soon because we're integrating. So your language literally can measure your own integration at whichever perspective you are at. Every perspective literally starts you off with a deconstruction and then a reconstruction. I know what you have to reconstruct and deconstruct. Your story. I could never translate it from the physics. You see, my primary language is physics. So once I got down to my primary self, I started speaking nothing but physics. I couldn't speak anything but physics because that is my primary state. I am physics first. I am a personification of physics. I have disintegrated, integrated that much. For a long time, I was the personification of each and every one of them. So that's the growth. That's the evolution. That's creation. It's the moving between all of these stories. And when you finally start to move each academic discipline with each academic discipline, you're a picture book. And then you've got your story. And now you know who you are. And that is when you unlock whatever the fuck this science is. And I finally stepped out of the physics realm. Oh, thank God, that was so hard. God, physics realm was so hard. And they only ever give you the physics that you ever need to get through. Did you hear what I just said? That you only get the physics that you need through your reconstruction, deconstructions, which means you are one strand of physics. Ooh, you are also one strand of mathematics. You are also one strand among 8 billion strands. Do you see what I'm saying yet? So when you start to integrate all of the pieces together, boom, you got one strand of whatever the fuck this science is. That's integration. We're integrating. Or we would, but we're all going the wrong way. So we're all disintegrating, which is really bad because we are at the final stages of disintegration. Like, really. We don't have the time to go through all of the channels. If I go through the channels, we'll be dead. Because some of you can't even speak anymore. I understand. He's the leader. I'm in the front. He's in the back. That's true leadership. There would be two of us. He's the marker. He's the one who I use to measure how well you guys are doing because he is the worst. So if it's too late for him, it's too late for all of us because he's at the back and he's the first to go, which means he's your true leader. And he put himself in the back of the line, but I had to go first. And it's really important that we start changing this now. So scientists, please check out my science. Use it wherever the fuck you need to use it to make whatever conclusions you need to make. Credit me on it, imagination. That's my work. I'm going to teach you how I did it so you can do it. But it's going to immediately merge with your strand of logical code and boom, it will fix it. And it will go fast. I need everybody to read the book Sophie's World by Jostein Gaarner. He's going to clockwork orange you the healthy and ethical way. I need to say these words. Jostein Gaarner invented clockwork orange, the ethical way. Jostein Gaarner embedded the cure of mankind into Sophie's world. It will cure you just by reading it. I read it and it cured me because he found the code. And Jostein Gaarner passed it on to me. Jostein Gaarner was the first one through. And he did the same thing I did. And he just needed one person to unlock it. And I did it. Code received. I'm your first test. Oh, you beautiful man. Oh, God. Jostein Gaarner embedded a code inside the book Sophie's World. It's the cure to mental illness. It's the cure to everything. I read it when I was 15 years old. And it cured me. But it took a long time to undo my coding because of the severity of my trauma and what it had to undo. But it began it. It started it. I don't have to write another word. All I have to say to you is make this Sophie's world. Oh, damn, yes. We can make Sophie's world real. It's a real story. It's true. And he embedded the code right inside of it. And it's literally the entire code, the entire operation. It's Operation Sophie's World. We have the manual for setting right the entire world to make it Sophie's world. My fucking God, this is gorgeous. And I started watching, my daughter is the next, I'm watching it heal my daughter as she's reading it. But my daughter has not had the trauma I had. I am the mother. I am the control group. And my daughter is my third data point. Don't you dare touch my daughter. Don't you dare touch my daughter. I will be overseeing everything to make sure it's ethical and at her consent. And she is a very private girl. So no one is coming near my daughter. All I can do is tell you what I'm witnessing. Jostein Gaarner found something and he put it inside Sophie's world. And it just completed the complete and full restoration of the code. I am the translator in this process. Jostein Gaarner was the creator, which means I am the sixth generation down from Zoroaster, you gorgeous brain man. Beautiful. At least six. But it's all right. It's pure. It's pure because it would not have been able to make it down without this happening, which means we just confirmed that this is fucking pure. It's the real deal. We found the cure to everything because it's the only way it would have survived, because it is the only common denominator in all of the codes. This is the only common denominator in all of truth, in all of everything that is love. This is really fucking gorgeous work there, Jostein. I'm glad I did not have your job because I was trying to figure out how to do it. And I was just going, oh, fuck. I don't want to write all this shit out. All right, fine. And I wrote it all out. And I'm like, I really don't want to do it. I'm going to translate it all. Can I be the translator? Goddess manifestation. Yes. Okay. So I'm the translator now. Thank you. All right, good. I'm going to translate this instead. Oh, that's so much nicer because I did not want to write all this down. I wanted to be the translator. Oh, I got my wish. Does that mean I can't write anymore? Or do I have to write with my words? Can I write with words and story? I always want to be the writer. I love being the writer. The writer is the best part. Do you remember when I was watching and I could see all the picture books flying and I couldn't speak? It's because I could see the logic before I could say it. I could see all of the logic long before I could say it. And it went so fast that I would just zone out. So when I start zoning out again, that's when I get to that point where I'm no longer keeping up with my own logic. That is when my logic has officially, it's synapses, your logic, and your words. Those are three things that they have to be aligned, guys. They have to be aligned. Synapses, logic, and words. And I'm getting tired again because I have not used these skills yet. So it's exhausting, which is why I sleep so much. It's because I am just trying to synchronize to finish off this healing. 1995 is when I read that book. My God, I am so tired. I'm slowing down again because I'm getting tired again. And this is the part where my synapses is still firing. The logic can't go further because it doesn't know the words to explain what it's seeing. And then my synapses will slow down. And my synapses will align with my logic and my words again. But I have to slow down. But that's not growing. Instead of slowing down, I have to speed up. So I have to practice communication. I have to practice talking at the speed of my own synapses. In order to do that, I had to come on YouTube. Oh my God, you had no idea. I went, oh my God, I got to talk. I got to practice talking. Get your ass on YouTube. It's called the Truth Purge Challenge. It's designed to get you through this process faster. You've got to talk. So literally, the second ingredient is talking. The first ingredient is Sophie's world. Sophie's world and talk. Truth. You must talk truth. And I'm tired again. Insanity is the point where the communication is officially so slow that they can't even make logical comprehension. I came back from that stage. I was so disintegrated that my logic was incapable of forming complete sentences. I needed to cure it fast. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Listen to this. You pay attention, you beautiful, beautiful people. This had been going on since 1984. That's when it started. I suffered a trauma that was so severe that it evoked empathy out of me and not hatred. That did it. I made a selfless wish in fear. I made a selfless wish in fear. And that broke the spell. That broke it. If you make a selfless wish in love, how is that love? That's the opposite of love. But if you make a selfish wish in love, it's growth. But if you make a selfish wish in fear, it's death. This is the first law of spell work. And it is vital. It is not possible to allow this wisdom and knowledge into the hands of the unethical. It is not allowed. It is not allowed. You do not put power like this in the hands of the unethical. Which left me with a massive question. How do you sort out the unethical? By creating a test, of course. That the fail-safe, the cure to immortality would only present itself if, and only if, one could prove in an instant how unethical they are. Well, the only way to figure that out is if things were to get so bad to the point of being unethical that the cure to immortality would arrive. That is true, yes. So what do you think we should do? Well, this is what I would do if I were writing the universe. I would wish it so that you can have the cure to immortality. Yes, absolutely. You'll get it when you can become so unethical that it activates as a last resort save the world clause because shit has gotten that bad. Only then will you be able to test in a really awesome game form who is unethical and who is ethical. And if you're ethical, you get the immortal potion. And if you're unethical, you don't. That's the message I'm translating. I wanted to be the translator, so I'm translating. You see, translators get all the fun. They're the narrators of the story. I want to be the writer of the story, and then I want to translate it, because the translation is the fun part. That's the theater and stage. But you skipped that class, right? Who are all my theater people? Come on, theater people. Yeah, these are the people who went, guess what, guys? I know how to translate text. Oh, yeah. Those are my translators. Those are my translators. Because if I were running the world, that's how I would do it. Those are my translators. They're amazing people. Theater stage people know how to take, oh, okay, why does this have to be like this? Can't we perform this instead? They're the ones in the back of the classroom going, oh my God, why is he reading a script? If you're going to stand up there, perform, monkey, dance for me. I'm the one in the audience. I mean, who perverted this crap? I'm looking at it and I'm going, who perverted this crap? What dipshit said that? No. That's an imbalance of power, that is. I'll tell you what that is. Let me tell you. So this is a little butte. This is a butte. Theater people know this. You have two powers in the world. You have the power of the writer, and you have the power of the translator. These two powers are really, 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 really powerful powers because it works like this. Let's say I fight a war and become the victor. Let's say because I'm the victor, I'm going to have something called bias opinion. So now I'm going to say whatever I want to say. We do this all the time with our spouses. Like, this is the thing to do with your spouse. This is like a date for most people, is trash talking their loved ones behind their back. Like, that's our religion, guys. We got this down. Because we're doing exactly what we were taught by the people who educated us. But you don't know who taught you, do you? You're going to say, my teacher, Mrs. Penningroth. No, Mrs. Penningroth did not teach you. All those people crammed into the monkeys on the stage who got the logic of theater confused. You tell me the difference between a teacher. What is the difference? Riddle me this, Batman. What is the difference between a teacher and a student and an actor, actress, and an audience member? Clocks are ticking. Do the riddle. No pressure. You do the math. Then discuss it among yourselves. I'm not going to tell you the answers anymore. You guys can discuss it. When you ask the right, I prophesied this morning. I was talking to my daughter, and she was reading Socrates, and she was reading me about Socrates. So I spent my morning sipping coffee, listening to my daughter read Socrates to me. Oh, my life, my life, my life. It's like I was born in Greek, ancient Greek. I need to get a fucking toga. Togas are coming back, guys, because they're cool. Togas are cool. Oh, you have no idea. We're going to go all toga out. I'm going to have so many togas. That's why I'm a hippie. I'm not a hippie. I'm ancient Greek. Oh, that makes so much more sense. You have no idea. You have no idea. My hippie brain was so confused. I'm like, I don't understand. I'm not a hippie. Why is everyone calling me a hippie? I'm not a hippie. These unethical bastards are idiots. I am not a hippie. What the fuck is going on with the world? I woke up from ancient Greek. I am literally the personification of ancient Greece because I'm eating their educational system for breakfast every day. And I can feel it in my bones. They integrated their culture into me. I'm still trying to figure out if that was prejudice, because they knew the code. They could have gone, let's take out ancient Greek. Yeah, it doesn't have to be ancient Greek, guys. We could like put a generic, oh no, we got to sign this bitch. Oh, fine, we'll sign it. Ancient. We got nomenclature, naming rights. Yeah. Sorry, guys, it's going to be Greek. Fuck you, bitches. Boom. They did that. They did that. That's why we're all waking up Greek. That's all this is. We're waking up Greek. Because you know what Greece did? See, Greece did not change what was there. Oh, they signed it, but they didn't change what is inside the human being. They did not change any of it. They just signed it. So we're all going to have a little bit of Greek inside of us. We're all Greek, okay? Apparently, we're all Greek. And that was the first lie. Someone said we're all African. No, we're not. Some of us might be Greek. And that's, I think, what I'm trying to say. No, that is the first lie. And our ancestors weren't even the ones who told it. Prejudice did. Modern prejudice is what told that lie. We did not originate. Not all of us came from Africa. Who said that? What dipshit said that? That we all came from Africa. Because I was reading an article this morning, and it was showing that there were other signs of life that were starting all over the planet, which means some of us could have come from Greece. Some of us could have come from Ireland. Some of us could have come from, unless you're going back to Homo erectus, except they found another skeleton that's taking them in a different direction. They may have found our true ancestor. As soon as you speak in prejudice, in terms of one, because we are all one, that one has to be a common denominator. We must speak in common denominators, guys. That's the only cure. That's the cure. That's it. You got to speak in common denominators. Everyone now must speak with a common denominator. And we've all got to agree upon what the common denominators are going to be. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not budging from my opinion. So you got to convince me, because I'm not budging from my opinion. And this is what this is all coming down to. It is literally the world's largest pissing contest over whose logic's better, yours or mine. So here's how this is going to go. We have to integrate and all speak in common denominators, which means every word, every comprehension, every definition has to be unanimous. I'm going to quote John Hancock. It has to be unanimous because we're integrating now, guys. It has to be unanimous. This will be unanimous when we all integrate. In order to integrate, we all have to speak in common denominators. I'm not going to give you my opinion. I wrote the science on it. You guys can read my science if you want. Most of you won't. The other side will. The side that will are going to read my documents and all the science. They're going to do the math on it. They're going to go, holy fucking shit, she's right. Meanwhile, instead of doing what you're supposed to be doing and reading the documents, you'll have been arguing. Now, here's the thing, and this is what's interesting. Will what the scientists figure out match what you're arguing about? That is the way it's going to happen. I'm hoping that this conversation right here will decrease the amount that this is taking place. My job is to not interfere. I can't interfere. I cannot interfere. I was reading and researching, and in the original text, the very first ever, this is how the end of days is going to go. I read the original, the mother, the parent of all parents, the very first interpretation. It was done at the first point of integration. It was done by Zarathustra himself, which means I found Zarathustra's first generation of wisdom, integrating all truths into the end of days. That's right. I believe the word is frashkareti. Let me just check this one more time. Frasho kareti. Frasho kareti. Frasho kareti. Google it. That is the end of days. It's all the common denominators in all of the religions and all the predictions into a 2-paragraph sentence. That was a master of whatever the fuck this science is. That's going to be the official name. That is the official name, whatever the fuck this science is. It's going to be that until a scientist in a stuffy suit comes up to me. If you're wearing a suit and he's going to be like, we really need you to not call it whatever the fuck this science is. Can we please come up with something a little bit more sciencey? I'm going to sign it. Imagination science. There, I signed it. Boom. I was looking for that. I signed it. Nomenclature. This is why I gave nothing my name. This is officially imagination science. Fuck you, trademark. I got naming rights. That's right. Fuck you all. Oh, you have no idea. I get integration mathematics. That's okay. Under the laws of imagination. Thank you. Thank you. I am a branch of science. That's like being physics himself. I was physics. Now I'm the personification of whatever the fuck this science is, which means I am the personification of imagination. Yes, that's what I'm calling this. And it's so fucking cool. So when that stuffy dude comes to me in a suit and he asks me that question, I will have known that he hasn't even watched this video, and I will judge him. You believe me? I will judge him. He will ask me that question, and I'll be thinking, he hasn't read this video. Now, if he asks me the question, okay. So here's the thing. Either they know it's called imagination science, or they're a bunch of frauds because they haven't even watched my videos, man, to even tell me what I should. So I'm going to fuck with them. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fuck with them. I'm going to be like, what? You want me to change the whatever the fuck? And it's going to be the only time that I'm going to pretend to actually be sad. You want to change whatever the fuck the science is to some, but I like whatever the fuck the science is. Well, you can't call it. Why can't I call it whatever the fuck the science is? Because oh, I know what you're doing. You want to clean up the history books. Why are you cleaning up the history books? Why are you cleaning up the history books? You should not be cleaning up history books. Of all the books in the fucking world, why are you cleaning out that dirt? What the fuck are you doing? Are you lying to our children? Are you embarrassed for your mistakes? So you write it because you know your children are watching. Oh shit, here I am. I'm an adult now. I have to write the history book. Oh, that is the first lie, you bastard. You know, this was in the Marvel movies. This is when Odin painted over the murals to hide all that bullshit. That's what was, oh, I'm pissed now. Mom and Dad lied to us, guys. That's what this means on a level. Oh, I'm pissed. I am so pissed. They changed the history books because of shame. Oh, no. We're going to have a long talk about shame. I have had shame. Shame is very, very difficult. It was my first emotion without a word. Get used to that, because as you heal yourself, it's going to like click in your brain. It's amazing. Now, I don't like to take notes. I don't like to write. I love writing. I love writing so much. I love writing fiction and story. I hate writing all this shit. You have no idea. To me, I'm out of physics now. So now I'm in like story. Oh, because I'm integrated. So I'm story. I love story. So wait a minute. After physics comes storytelling. I missed that. I did miss it. We do not have multiple personalities. We have multiple phases. Those are not personalities. Those are called phases, like the moon. Humans have phases. Did you know that? Humans have phases. Now you can watch my everything, and you can see my phases. Okay? I have a BDSM mistress phase, and I have an imagination sunshine adventure phase. And I have I really fucking hate doing X, but I've got to do X and I don't understand anything over here. I have many phases. We all have phases. It's not faces, it's phases. We may have pronounced the wrong word at one point, and we confused phases with faces. That would have been another lie. A lie is when you don't use logic. And people have gone through this with me. It looks like this. A lie has to be intentional. Okay. Does truth have to be intentional? No, truth is truth. Truth is. Okay then. So truth is, because it's the constant. What's the opposite of a truth? lie. So it's not about intention at all. It is just not true. So the real phrase is truth, not truth. Lie's true name is not truth. You guys messed up the word for lie. At some point, someone messed up the word for lie. By the time I started my narcissistic school, I had already figured out that they had embedded subliminal messaging inside the program. And I refused to take it in. I learned how to block my mind from being able to take it in. I recognized the code and I immediately went independent. I was 8 years old. I was 8 years old when I psychologically reverse engineered the subliminal message inside my school. And so I protected myself against it. And when I found that code, I also located it in my family. I located it everywhere. And I subconsciously protected myself from it. I have been doing nothing but reverse engineering that code all my life. I have no idea whatever the fuck this science is. I'm going to call this logic. Ooh, that's how I'm going to end that conversation with that asshole with the suit who did not watch this video. I'm going to end it with, you mean logic? Because this is logic. This is why no one studied logic. It's too fucking hard. Yeah, it's fucking hard. Well, it's easy after a while. Yeah, it's too easy after a while. I would love to know at what speed I can logicize. I have no idea. I cannot wait till they start hooking up things to my brain. I'm looking forward to that. I am so excited about that. They're going to be like, Anna, we want to hook your brain up. Yes, the probes. Do you have probes? Please, yes, probe me. Oh, God, yes, please. What are you putting inside of me? What is that? What is that? Yes, I will consent. Yes, ask me. Can we please look at your brain? Yes. Yes, you can look at my brain. My brain. I have gifted my brain to science. I gift my brain to science. Yes. I'm so excited. No, I'm really excited about that part. That is coming. I can see that so clear. It's going to be like, we're doing it. We're doing it. It's like, oh, it's my dream come true. I wanted to do science, but I wanted to be the experiment. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be the experiment. It's like, it was great. This is my way of, okay, I want to be a scientist. Okay, what part of the science field do you want? Well, I want to be the experiment. That's exactly what went through my head. Like I said, Rick and Morty, Doctor Who. Why haven't we done this, people? Rick and Morty, Doctor Who. So this is my Rick, Morty, Doctor Who episode. I'm going to write it right here because they didn't get off their asses. So here's how this works. This is what's going to happen. I got two conversations happening here because I'm thinking so fast. So here's what's going to happen. This is how we're all going to talk in the future. It's going to be amazing. By the way, this is what 45-year-old talking sounds like. This is what 45-year-old talking sounds like. We all are supposed to be talking at our own speed of synapsis, which means 2-year-olds are going to be speaking slower. So 2-year-olds can only speak to 3-year-olds, who can only speak to 4-year-olds, who can only speak to 5-year-olds, until you learn how to slow down and talk to all of them at the same time. That is what I am learning right now. I am learning how to slow down and speed up so I can talk to all of you at the same time. But in order to do that, I have to practice out and trial all of the different things. I'm literally reverse engineering our code right now so I can talk to you and just deliver this in an easy peasy 1, 2, 3. So that all I have to do is say one word to you, just one word. And when I say the word, it will just release it and the whole thing will go because we'll have found the core, the first word. I'm looking for the first word to correct all of the logic. And it's just going to unlock your brain and free you. But I can't do that without your consent, which is part of my problem. So now I'm back to the ethics going, oh shit, well, how the fuck am I going to do this with their consent? Because you can't touch their brain without their consent. What am I going to do? You can't do this until they understand it. Right. So I also have to dumb it down for them. Do I do it layered like this? It's called risk-aware consensual kink. It's a real thing. So now I'm going, okay, so they have to consent. What about age? What about history? What about trauma? How do you organize 8 billion people who can receive the risk-aware consensual kink clause of you need to understand exactly and fully what we are doing here before I ask you, do you understand? And I have to make sure that you are safe, sane, and sound to make this decision so that when you do say yes, I will know you can take this on. So that when and if you say yes, it'll fix you on the spot. You'll receive all consequences. And I cannot calculate all of your consequences for you. That's the catch. That's the problem. There's no way around this. I have run this formula so many times. I cannot diagnose you. I cannot diagnose anyone. If I diagnose you, if I diagnose anyone, it will immediately placebo affect you. The only way is for you to learn how to build your own code. Only you know your code. I don't. So now you're looking at a risk. The risk of, do I accept this without any literature or knowledge of what I'm accepting and take a massive risk of maybe this isn't the best thing for me right now? Or do I go and read that material and make sure I am damn good prepared for it? Or, third option, I set it up so that you cannot access this information until you are where you need to be. And the only way to do that is to give you clues and leave you to figure it out. Because that's really what needs to get done, is you need the clues and you need to go figure it out. So when I ask questions or give riddles, you have to solve it and it has to be true. And that will give you the next clue. You have to string all the clues together. I cannot tell you any more because that would be enabling. I had to piece it all together. It was the piecing and the puzzling that did it. It was the action of puzzles that did it. The puzzles we've been saying the wrong word. It's not play. That's not how we learn. We do not learn through play. We learn through puzzling. Puzzles. You have no idea how many puzzles I did as a child. I was obsessed with them. All I ever played with were puzzles. Puzzle toys for your infants. Now, oh, that big one, that's a huge one. Puzzle toys for your children. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have to get all the clues. Work together. Work together. I had to do one part of this program where I was running and trying to keeping up with it. I was moving all over the place. I was constantly moving. And I was moving so fast because I couldn't speak up. Because when your synapses is not aligned to your logic in your words, you can't even function. And I had to figure out and literally reverse engineer the logic and the words because no one had reverse engineered those two things before. So yes, puzzles is big for children, all age. Puzzles is what you need. Puzzles, puzzles, puzzles. It's, oh my God, yes. So that's it. Its name is imagination. Imagination logic. Imagination logic. Imagination logic. That's what I'm offering you. Now I can give you my offer. I've been looking for this. My God, that was hard. Hi, I'm on an imagination. I'm really smart. I invented whatever the fuck this science is. Yes, that's its official name. Which is like 10 stages higher than biology. And I am giving it to you for free. If I were to summarize all of it, I would have to tell you that I am providing you with an alternative logic. Alternative logic is a really awesome modern name like hip hop. So I'm going to use that. Alternative logic. Yes. Alternative logic. You've heard of logic. You've heard of rock. You've heard of alternative rock. Well, this is alternative logic. Yes. Because that's catchy and I like it. That is what I am selling. I am selling alternative logic. Only I'm giving it away for free because it's fun. So alternative logic is what I have. That is what I have. I am so smart that there are no words for how smart I am, which is a massive problem that I have. It's because there are no words to describe what I am. So I'm sitting here all day trying to define myself, trying to describe what I am. And it sounds like I'm really fucking arrogant, doesn't it? But I'm not. What I'm really doing, what I've been trying to do, is summarize my name, just my name, because it does not exist. It hasn't been invented yet. I'm not a genius. That's not my name. And a part of my subconscious mind was going, that's not logical. Let's throw that out. And I'm like, okay, what am I? What am I? And it's like, I don't know. I don't know what I am. The closest I found is something called an Ashavana. There. That might be my name. Ashavana. I would be the first Ashavana. And Ashavana is the next evolution of the human. It's really amazing. That is what Ashavana is. There is only one path. It's inside of Sophie's World by Jostein Gaarner. And I'm the first one out. Jostein Gaarner, Clockwork Orange Juice, ethically. Jostein Gaarner, Clockwork Orange Juice, ethically. I was trying to write the book on how to do it. So my books also do it. I don't know if mine's better. He does the logic. I do the mental illness part. So I do to mental illness what he does with logic. Douglas Adams did it also. Lizzie, this is humor. I know this is humor. It's humor. I can recognize it now. Ooh, that's new. Was that humor? Oh, I could not recognize humor. You would be amazed how many people cannot recognize humor. This is an actual condition, and I'm going to be blunt. This is some really fucking weird shit. We know this. This is why it is the science of whatever the fuck this is. And because it's whatever the fuck science this is, I get to say whatever the fuck I want and tell you, sorry guys, this is really fucking advanced science. How advanced it is, whatever the fuck this science is, I don't know. And I'm tired of trying to create names to try and keep up. And I am officially to a point where there are no names here. I am seeing science that has no names. And it's all proven on my website. You can go take a look. It's really boring to go through it all over and over again. So I just put it there. And I'm sitting here going, oh my God, I got to write this all out. God, if someone would just do this for me. Boom, Jostein Gaarner. I remember that book. He did it to me. There's what I was looking for. You see, Douglas Adams had it close. Douglas Adams was incomplete. So it didn't work. He tried it. He got the same code and he tried it. We all read the same code, but every one of us got the code wrong. I got it right. No, Jostein got it right. Thank you. Yes, Jostein got it right. I also got it right. So there's two versions of it now. Josh, but really, truly read his first. Read his first, because I guess it would be an integration of his book. No, but please read his book. Read his book. He takes care of all the philosophy. Like, read his book. It will simplify everything for you. And the data would be fantastic. So here's the thing. We need control groups. I'm the first. The next person who reaches Avashana, I'm going to need to talk to them. Now, I'm going to need data. Problem is, there's 8 billion of you. So you tell me now, come on, class, how the hell I'm supposed to instruct 8 billion of you and collect data? I don't have the ability to put this on my website right now. It's going to be automated, but I don't have the time. I don't have the money yet. You don't have knowledge like this and go, I'm going to go to work today. You sit home and you do the fucking science. But there is nothing in our culture that allows for this. There is nothing in our culture that allows epiphany days. And I'm sorry. You get to a point where that's all you're going to be doing is epiphany and you're not going to be able to work. Retirement, fuck that shit. You have epiphany days coming. When you reach epiphany days, everything shuts down. And there's no telling when. You could be 30 when it happens. You could be 10 when it happens. It doesn't matter. Epiphany days is when the world stops and you just got to think. And it doesn't matter what's going on outside. You have got to stop and you've got to think. Which is why in Fahrenheit 451, when Bradshaw wrote his, Bradshaw, that was his name, it's Bradbury. When Bradbury wrote his book, I read the book, I didn't read the author. When Bradbury wrote his book, when you go inside of it, there's the girl staring there, looking up. But it didn't take me there. Magic School Bus takes you there. It takes you there. Harry Potter takes you there. It takes you there. It all just took me all over the place. My daughter's a mime. She doesn't know it, but she's a mime. A lot of people hate mimes. I don't understand what the prejudice is. I think maybe at one point mimes maybe were too aggressive or they were abusive where they would do a mime thing. And if you didn't pay them or tip them, they would bully you. Hypothesis. And then people associated mimes with being bullied. So that now here we are, decades later, centuries later, we have forgotten that this ever took place. But every time we see a mime, we go, oh, I hate mimes. Why? Isn't it odd that most people hate mimes? This is some really weird shit with some whatever the fuck this science is. Hey, I'm the first one here. The best thing about all this is, I got so back to the nomenclature thing. So I got to this point and I'm going, oh my God, this is really advanced science. And it started to go off the charts and it still kept going. I remember when I got to the end of Plato. I got to the end of Plato and I went, oh, Plato, I'm smarter than Plato. Okay. When you're coming up with shit that continues their work, you're smarter than them. I've continued Nietzsche's work. What? Don't want it, please. No, I'm talking to you and not the audience. What are you doing? I know that you never talk to backstage. So eat. You're like almost 17. No way, I am. Ah! No way, hello, man. She's almost 17. And she's like, I need help. No, you don't. No, I know that. That's your psychology. That's the stuff. I will stop talking. Oh, and I know it's the jar. She's never gotten bold before. She's never gotten bold. This is like the first time she's talking. Lizzie, I don't have any ideas to go in the idea jar. I'm officially trying to. I don't want to play charades right now. And I cannot read lips. I cannot read lips. This is really fun. I cannot read lips. And I cannot, this is probably why I can't read lips. I'm face blind. That's why I can't read lips. I am face blind. I am face blind on such a level. Oh, I got stories of my face blind. Oh, they're great. So I'm watching Walking Dead, right? And I'm sitting here watching this guy named Bob, and I'm going, okay, Bob, got Bob. And then the scene changes. We're in this like next season, and they've got this character, this new guy, and they keep calling him Bob, and I'm like, that's not Bob. Who the fuck is this guy? But it's not Bob. That is not Bob. And then the season changes again. It's like maybe six episodes in, and then it changes again. I'm like, oh, that's Bob. No, that's not Bob. They must have two actors or something. Who is this Bob? Why is there two Bobs? Could not figure it out. So I called my girlfriend over. She comes over, and I'm like, please just, she would not watch Walking Dead, but it got to a point where I'm like, I'll just tell me what's going on with Bob. So she watches all of it. She's like, and she goes through the Bob parts, and she goes, oh my God, Anna, he's got a beard. Hey! Like that was the first of it. That's when we first noticed it. He had a beard, so I couldn't recognize him. That was it. I am absolutely face blind. It is annoying. The worst part about being face blind is you'll be in a room with all your friends and you will still feel alone. You won't be able to see all of them. So you learn their energy instead. That's why I'm an energy reader. It's because I'm blind. I am blind. I cannot see color, so I cannot tell a black man from a white man sometimes. And I'm not racist. I'm literally blind. This is a type of blindness. It's not racism. It's an actual condition. I was accused of being racist so many times. Oh, when I wasn't. I am literally blind to culture, blind to I cannot see people without the logical code. I invented the logical code so I could see you. That is why I invented the logical code, so I could see. Because I only understand in physics. So I needed the physics because I restored sight to my brain with logical code. Yep, that's what I did. That is exactly what I did. I'm healing my brain because I wanted to heal my eyesight. My eyes were very bad. There's a few things with my brain that's very interesting, and I haven't been able to figure it out yet. But I'm blind. So I had this one guy, he would sit next to me, and I had no idea he had a wig in his hands. And he was bald, and I looked away, and when I turned back, he had the wig on, and I'm face blind. So I was like, ah! That was so funny. It was scared the shit out of me. And it took me a long time to realize, oh, you're face blind. Oh, it's that bad. Okay. Once I started to realize that I was face blind, I started to realize how I had compensated for reading people and understanding, and I would use their energy to tell who they are. So I would have to feel two people together to know that I was standing with two people sometimes because I'm blind. I was hit in the forehead with a baseball when I was 12, and it concussed me. I was blind for 3 days. I've been a different kind of blind ever since. I lived 3 days without my eyes. And then after that, I could not recognize faces. I could not figure out why. And I studied. I studied. And the more I studied, the more I was able to repair my brain. My brother did not beat me often. He just beat me enough. He gave me one black eye. He terrorized and tortured the cats and turned me into a slave. A slave he could control based off of how much he tortured animals. And everyone in my family ignored this horror. And I got to see how sick my brother was. I will say no more. The worst was when I was 4. And that day it was so bad. I wished for all the pain in the world to stop. I wished for the wisdom to save the world. Something in my 4-year-old brain asked the question, what caused this? And how bad does it have to be for this child to do this? That this child is doing this? And that question popped a marker in my head that released a chain reaction through all of time and space to activate the uber awesome immortal potion, because things had officially gotten that bad. This is not fiction. This is my life. When I started to come out and tell people the truth, because you can't market yourself, you can't put your product out there without you selling you. And I'm going, yeah, well, what am I? And what am I? I had no idea what I was. I know I'm a changeling. I know I'm a changeling. That's one thing I got down. I am an Ashavana. The problem is I needed a word that I could tell you guys that you could all understand. I couldn't walk around going, I'm a psychic. That word's been like beaten to death. So I couldn't say that word. I couldn't walk into you guys and say, hey, all right, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try anything. I tried witch, I tried goddess, but you guys were using them all over the place. So now I just sound like one more hack because it's been killed to death. And I'm going, great, I got to get people's attention fast because I've got directions and we don't have time. But there's no word in your entire language that has been left untainted. Oh, that's not true. Just look at where the Roman Empire stops. Start. Yeah. And look at everything before. Oh, look at that. Untainted material. Well, this is going to be easy. Let's just go through the original records. So while everyone else is going, oh, this, oh, that, and they're like going all over other books, I like to go to the original source. So that's how I do research. I go to the original source. That's what I do. We're going to talk about this a lot. You go to the original source. You go to the source of the problem. You go to the source of the cure. It works both ways. You go to the source of the problem to solve it. You go to the source of the cure to heal it. So I went to the source of the cure. Everyone else was chasing history and current events. Current events are the dumbest fucking things. The only thing that should interest current events are scribers. News people should be, okay, and then this is, and you add it to the history books. I mean, why is it history now? That's going to be, that's my news. History now. That is my news channel, guys. I was waiting for it. Welcome to History Now. That's it. Oh, yes, this is going in the show. I'm building a show. History Now. History Now. That's right. Welcome to History Now. You guys call them current events, but that's not correct. It's History Now. History Now. The only time it's here is right now. Oh, yes, I got to write this down. The only time it's here is right now. That's my motto. History Now. The only time it's here. The only time it's here is right now. So if I had this kind of skill, I would set it up as an alternative roller deck CDC disc player like we had back in the 90s, where you could put 5 CDs and play them all and it would go, and you just go through all your, well, this is I'm 44, so 44 story mode deck player on random. That's what this is. That's what I built. And I went, no. If I would do this, I would set it up so that I got a roller deck, it'd be like a roller deck of story. And I would just go into all the stories. And one of those stories would be History Now. This is whatever the fuck this science is. And today on Whatever the Fuck This Science Is, we are bringing you History Now, which you guys call current events. This is how Grecians would have done the news and everything else, because they have personality. And then they would most likely launch into Son. And when I have the nerve, I too will be launching into Son, depending upon a whole lot of various mathematical factors. So there's going to be a weather report, because there's got to be a weather report. But my weather reports are going to be really fucking different from everyone else, because this is whatever the fuck this science is. So my weather reports don't come from, I don't know where everybody else is getting their data. I know where the scientists are getting it. Scientists do their thing. Seismic waves are being read. I can feel those motherfuckers. And then I look over here and I'm going, what are you guys doing? By the way, I really hate it when I use that word, because I can feel the toxicity into it, because I know what birthed it. And it's like, oh no, I can feel that energy. I don't want it. I'm going to not use that one ever again, because it made me feel tainted. Oh, I really don't like that word. How do you undo a word? Oh, that's been the problem from the start, right? How do you undo words? You have to reverse engineer them. That is the answer. To take back something you said, you have to reverse engineer it. You have to learn it. That is how. We teach you how to take back words. That is the kind of shit you find under whatever the fuck this science is. We teach you how to take back words. So if you are new to my channel, this is On Imagination, and I discovered a new science. I am sick and fucking tired of naming shit, because I have been doing nothing but nomenclature up to this point. And I just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm the first one here. I got naming rights. I officially have naming rights. So that means I don't have to trademark this shit, because I got naming rights. Suddenly all my legal, oh my God, what? I've been wondering this question. I've been trying to figure out, if you discover, like Newton discovered gravity. He didn't make it. It's there. Newton's the dude who went, wow, look what I found. That's all Newton did. Okay. The genius that is Jostein Gaarner putting it, oh my God, Sophie's world. Holy fucking shit. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's fucking genius. So the stage after you cross over Plato's point. Oh, I went ahead of myself, because I kept thinking while I was also talking, and I came into the wrong story at the wrong time. Sorry. Got my stories backwards. Or was I? Under whatever the fuck the science is, you want to take back words. In order to take back words, you have to reverse engineer them, which is learning. And I was talking to you about the trademarking. And with the trademarking, one of the questions that I had in my mind was a catch-22. I found this, but I didn't discover it. Trademark is for discovery, is for invention. It's for invention. You should never trademark discovery. There's no such thing as trademarking discovery. Mother Nature, that is an abomination of Mother Nature. There is no trademark. No one owns Mother Nature. There's no ownership there. You don't know what own means. To own something is to enslave it. It's to stunt its growth so you can keep it. All slavery is stunted growth. It doesn't matter if you cause damage on the inside or the outside. Slavery is stunted growth. So if you're not nourishing to grow, you're enslaving to keep. Because the opposite of nourishing to grow is enslaving to keep. Because this is a dichotomy. It's how dichotomies work. It's a ratio. You cannot stand still. There is no such thing as standing still. You would have to exert the equal amount of energy in order to just maintain your stagnation. But a person who figures out how to do that, they grow. If you get to this point, you will get to that point. So no one stagnates, no one. That's where you go when you're trying to figure out how to push the gas and then boom, you're gone. So you are either in a parked car without gas in your growth, or you are going. But, and this is it right here, is you're not actually in a parked car. You're going backward. You're disintegrating, dissolving. This is what dissolving looks like. And when you start to realize that what we're looking at is dissolvement, this is what looks like when a human dissolves. Human dissolvement is a real thing. You are trying to cure diseases from the wrong generation. You are not in the right generation at all to dissolve and to resolve diseases. You are not at the catalyst. You are a few generations away from the catalyst. So as a result, all the science you got is not working. You're only fixing up to a certain kind of problem. You needed to go bigger. So when you go bigger, you stand at a different point of view and you have the ability to go, oh, that's the condition everyone has. It's called human dissolvement. They're dissolving. What are they dissolving from? Disintegration. They are dissolving from disintegration. There it is right there. They are dissolving from disintegration because you have entered a state of resource partitioning where you are thinking so little and so logically, so illogically, that your brain has registered it as rejected. They're not using this organ anymore. Let's do apoptosis on it. And I knew I could get this down to a story if only I could speak fast enough. If only I could articulate and translate the words into comprehension that we all could understand. But in order for that to happen, I had to be at the point of truth. My logic had to be at the point of truth, and my communication had to be at the point of truth. But my communication did not get here at the same time that I did. So when I arrived, I could not articulate anything to you. Still, I'm going to max out at some point where I'm going to get the end to my comprehension, and that's when I'm going to slow down again. Once I slow down, I reach another point where I'm going, oh, it's yeah. It gets to a point where you see yourself in everything. The problem is, and here's the mystery, is this just my story? Or do you have a different story? And that's what I want to know. So I'm an example, just an example. I am just an example. I don't know how it's going to go for you. I can tell you how it worked for me. I can tell you what I did. I don't know if it only works for me because it's mine, or if it works for everybody. We're not going to know that until I can get at least 2 other people, 3 other people, because I'm the original. I can't do it. So we need 3 other people. Because remember, I am the control group. So now we got to set up the next generation of tests. So we need volunteers, people who are going to step forward and say, yes. And all you have to do is read Sophie's World. That's all you've got to do is read Sophie's World. She takes care of the rest. I don't have to do anything else. My stuff is bonus and perks. Just read Sophie's World. And then you can just come back to me and I'll tell you the next stage, but it's just walking you through. You can just, bypass me and go there. So all I have to do really is stand up here and advertise you and tell you what great things we have right down here in this is really fucking weird science, whatever the fuck this science is. No idea what the science is. I just know it's like, oh, look, it's new science. What is it? I don't know. It's something. It's just all the integration of all of them in one. I really wish calculus was present. Yes, we need to fix that. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do it the old-fashioned way or the reverse engineering it like I've done everything else way. I kind of want to do the real slow deal with normal teaching. I want to try my brains. Ooh, now that'd be fascinating. Hey, guys. Ooh, this is what we can do. I am up for this. The science experiment where you put my brain on wires, not literal, like the little things on my skin. Well, I learned math. Now that, because I have no idea where I am a pure idiot savant when it comes to mathematics. I have no idea. Those 40 pages in that book is all I got in my brain. I did take, I don't think I'm good at math. I think I am terrible at mathematics. Like I did my integrated mathematics and it took all of my brain power to build it. Like I went into a day where I went, all right, let's consume all of the knowledge of the universe. And then I wrote out the code and it took me like a week to write out that code. And it was the most grueling. And most of it was just me drawing pictures. Like I was translating. I don't translate very often. I never translate. I was always the writer. I was always the author. I've been the author since I was 4 years old. And I'm like, I don't want to be the author anymore. Can I please do something different? And it's like, I'm going to be the translator. The translator is fun. So I get to translate my own work, which has never fucking happened before. And this is where Jesus fucked it up. I love Jesus, but he fucked it up. He made a few mistakes, and this is one of them. That's right. When you're here, you get to see where all Jesus made mistakes. The first thing he did wrong is he did not do his own translation. Dude. Why aren't you doing your own translation? I mean, come on. It's one of those things where I remember when I was reading Dr. Aziz Gazipura's book, Not Nice. I'm listening to him and I'm going, dude, like, how do I explain it? He wrote the book and then he did the audiobook. And it was like the most amazing book. Like, read the audiobook. It's amazing. His personality comes out. It's fantastic. I love the book so much. It's called Not Nice by Dr. Aziz Gazipura. And the whole time I have this thing in the back of my head going, tell your story, tell your story. The whole fucking time. That's her voice. That's the universe's voice. And I'm sticking with it. Maybe. So I exhausted all concept of nomenclature. I was so sick and tired of it. It wasn't fun anymore. And I kept finding strands and strands and strands. And then there was this moment, which was today, where I just went, holy fucking shit, this is just a new science. What is this? I don't even know what the fuck this is. The components are all over the place. So now I have to organize this new science. And I don't want to walk away from this because this is fun for me. So I'd rather be like, so what's going on today in the office? Well, we were working on whatever the fuck this science is, and we realized I got nomenclature. But here's the best part. Yeah, my boss hasn't shown up yet, and there's no board to govern this. So until they show up and tell you that you have to run it their way, you can run it your way? Uh-huh. I do believe I can. because this is my science. My science is your science. Science is awesome. Science is fun. Girls, you can do it. You can do it, girls. It's I fought the stigma and I won. Yeah, that's what it is. I fought the stigma and I won. So I've never thought about doing inspiration. The concept grosses me out. Every time I hear inspiration, I look at Tony Robbins, and I studied him a lot because he does inspiration. And he's the archetype of inspiration. And this is difficult because when you're a student and you start to see, this is how you know people, this is how you know. It's when you start to, well, no, that's not right. That's not how it's done. It's I would do it this way because of this logic. And that's where someone's improved their logic. Now, here's the question. Did the student make a mistake, or did the student grow? Did the student surpass the teacher? Now, you have got to know logic to know that. Did the student make a mistake, or did the student grow? Now, students are making mistakes and claiming that they know, when that's a problem. People are making mistakes and claiming that they know because someone traumatized them at the point of someone didn't make a mistake. They did grow. And they were accused of making a mistake. And that's really it. It is when your growth is actually claimed a lie. Lying about growth is a spell. It is an unbreakable spell. Lying about growth is severe. Do not use the phrase growing like a weed. Weeds are unwanted. So the logical brain of a child goes, I'm unwanted. I'm growing like an unwanted. And that's why many children and adults think that they're unwanted, because they were compared to weeds. Because the word weed has the same energy as the word unwanted. Now, that is your first lesson in magical linguistics. Why does the word unwanted feel the exact same way as a weed? You can feel the emotion inside of you when you say weed, and you can feel the emotion inside of you when you say unwanted. Children are energy readers. That is how they communicate before the word. Energy is the first word. I spent 2 years speaking energy. I found it. I found it. Oh, I found it. Do not encourage your children to say their first word. Do not. I got to do the math on this. Give me a minute. We can do this fast. But it has to be ethical. I will not break any law, which means it has to be 100% guaranteed right. Which means I'm going to want scientists to test this math. I need mathematicians to test this formula when I'm done with it. If you know a mathematician, get him this video. What is the ethical line drawn with human research? They have to consent. At what point will they consent? When they understand everything. How do you understand everything? How do you know the person is risk aware with full consent? How do you tell that now with an adult? You don't. So how many adults are consenting to something and they're too mentally ill to even comprehend what's being done or said? Most of them. So how is an adult right now different than a child? Age, innocence, a chance that they're already pure and you don't want to touch it. That's correct. The children are completely off limits. No child should ever be subjected to non-consensual research. No thing should ever be subjected to non-consensual research. They have to volunteer. They must volunteer. But in order to volunteer, prime directive. Science gets prime directive. That was not hard. Why was that hard? We're scientists. Scientists have to follow the prime directive. Boom, that's a law. That's a fucking law. Scientists have to follow the prime directive. How dare you? You're probably a Trekkie. Scientists must follow the prime directive. This should have been the first law of everything. God has an idea. Poof, you know what? Scientists must have the prime directive. As soon as you put that wisdom tree of knowledge out there, the very first thing that should have happened is there's a little footnote. Scientists must have the prime directive. Here's knowledge and here's the prime directive. I knew it. What I was looking for today, this was my research for today. So this is my research for the day. This is my day. I woke up this morning and I wanted to know, at what point does one become too ethical to not do science ethically? Let's analyze this. And here it is it's only 1:50 in the afternoon. No, I thought it was 4. Oh, this is amazing. I'm so happy right now. I have so much. I had said all of that in a very short period of time. The integration is going very well. So this is my live research lab where I turned myself into my own test subject. Actually, turns out I'm Jostein Gaarner's test subject because he totally clockwork oranged me ethically. Oh, I'm so happy. So happy. Life is so good. So good. So I'm now putting together my TV show, and this is it. You're on it. You're in it. You're watching it. And because the scientists haven't showed up yet to say, all right, Anna, we need to start regulating whatever the fuck this science is. Yes, that'll be the day. So I'm just going to put this out on YouTube because I currently am without any kind of governance, just my ethics. And believe me, they're high. This has been bothering me a lot because as I'm getting this knowledge, I'm getting ethically concerned. Like, I can feel it. You get the really good shit when you pass a certain ethical point. And I'm going, I can feel the power. This is amazing. And it's just truth. That's what the power is, truth. Isn't that funny? The power is truth. It's truth, man. And I see it being the new religion. Truth, man. Truth, man. So I'll tell you what a religion really is. Ready? A religion is a story. That's all it is. It's just their story of what happened. It's just their story. Did we forget that they're stories? So King Solomon came around a campfire and he sat down with Zoroaster and he sat down with Zoroaster and he said, dude, I got to tell you a story, man. I got to tell you how I did it. And Zoroaster was his greatest student. Zarathustra was his other name. And Zoroaster absorbed that knowledge like crazy. And he condensed it all into Plato's point. And then he journeyed to Greece and he met Pythagoras. And he said, I got some stuff for you. It's wild. We call it the genie. And he goes, oh, what is the genie? God, this is like really a drug deal that's going down in ancient Greece, right? Ooh, what is a genie? I'll tell you what a genie is. Inside, get some of your friends together. And thus, Pythagoras and Euclid's brains were born. Pythagoras decided to reverse engineer music, math, all of this. And he took whatever the fuck this science is, and he crammed it into his Plato's point, which ironically I'm referring to Plato's point, which is who picked this up next is Plato. And Plato attended Pythagoras' school, and Pythagoras said, hey, I got something for you. We call it whatever the fuck this science is. And that's right. This is how it went down. And Plato went, I'll take me some of that. And he unraveled it and he ate it and he blossomed and it grew into a university called La Academia. Thank you. And then, this is epic poetry from my days when I studied all 9 of Plato's epic poetry styles. Shoot me. You have no idea. Like, dude, why the fuck am I studying 9 types of epic prose? I had to do tragedy. I had to do comedy. And I still don't know humor. Did I miss something? You know what? Maybe I should go back to Plato to learn about humor. Because he speaks my language. Because he taught me language. So then, Plato took all of his knowledge and he crammed it into a curriculum. Just a curriculum. He wrote them in a very specific order. The formula for the 12 ethics. And he taught it to Aristotle. He taught it to Socrates. He taught it all over the place. And all these universities popped up, and it just, whatever the fuck the science is, it spread. It spread like wildfire. And people began turning into geniuses, which is why they created the Olympics, is to push them. Because they were turning into gods. And they wanted to see just how fucking awesome they could get. Because they needed to start measuring the science of what they had found. Because they were a science project by Zarathustra, who said, we need a culture to test this on. And he dropped it into ancient Greece with Pythagoras, and it went whoosh. Whoa, so that's what an educational system does. Nice. It's literally culture in a box. It's literally culture in a box. Now, they got the formula, and this is the beautiful thing. This is literally the formula for society. I got the formula for society. I got the society formula. Yeah, literally. I have the society formula. Now, here's the thing. This one is ancient Greece. Ancient Greece signed it because they have naming rights. So I don't know how to take ancient Greek out of this. I don't. But they got naming rights. So technically Solomon should have naming rights. They stole the naming rights. That's dirty. Oh, we all should be like King Solomon. The story of Jacob and Esau is the story of ancient Greece stealing naming rights from King Solomon. That explains everything now. That makes sense. I knew there was like, that's it right there. You can't turn around and say, oh yeah, well, let me tell you about the time they stole my ring. You can't write ancient Greek in there. They'll know. They'll come after you. They did. That's why they warred. You stole my fucking naming rights. Why'd you put ancient Greek in there? You know that was my shit. They were fighting over copyright. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's right. So Persia had it out with the ancient Greeks. By the way, this technique is what is known as your lowest, well, your highest probability. Logically, you find all the logical outcomes. And then you break it down with probability, and then you go to Occam's razor. It's always Occam's razor. What is the simplest explanation? Would you stop being that way? I know you're trying humor, but I don't understand it yet. I'm working on it. Every now and then I do something, and in the back of my brain, I'm thinking, is this humor? I don't know. Is this humor? I don't know. I'm literally learning humor. This is learning humor. You have to practice humor. That's what they tell me. You have to practice it. I have no idea how to practice it. I just know I want to be funny without having any idea how to be funny. But they tell me I have to practice it. So this is me practicing humor. I know nothing about humor because I've decided to just reverse engineer it. That is how I decided to do it. And I will tell you why. Because I have researched humor every other way. Maybe it's the only one that you really have to reverse engineer, or maybe I'm so logical that now I can't understand something unless I understand the logic behind it. Oh, I'm fucked. No, I'm not, because I have logic. Never mind all that. So I've decided to reverse engineer humor. How do you spell what? I spell like this. R-S-T. Use the right words. Ask the right questions. You asked me, how do you spell? Oh, British or American? Okay, British is H-U-M-O-U-R. And that would be the origin for the humors, which goes back to the humors, which I believe goes back to humidity, which I believe goes back to the Greek for humid, and then hummus. That's not the right language. Why is it so similar to ancient Greek? Humid, hummus. Why the fuck would the ancient Greeks have a word for humid? You know who would have that word? Desert people would have that word. Humid. Dry. I don't understand. Let me look at the etymology on this.
I'm already on it.
For humor. No, we want to go back to the humors. Moist.
It's same both ways.
So then what? Words don't usually cross over. That is what's going on. Words never cross over. Never cross over unless they're linked. This is the first word I have found that doesn't make any sense.
Basil. That's what that happened.
Yeah. There is H-U-M.
Human.
I believe the ancient Greek language had a lot more Arabic in it than we believe. I have proof of that. There is a lot of Arabic influence in the ancient. Oh, this is big. Okay. Human. H-U-M. Human. Yeah, like, okay, so let me explain. Words don't cross over like that. Words don't. They stick to their own. Now, when a language becomes another language, it evolves. It doesn't evolve, it morphs. It builds on it. So you have a brick, and then you take a brick and you put the brick on top of it. That's how words are born. And it's like linking logs. Words are just linking logs. There is no evolution. Evolution is transmorphing something. It's transfiguration. It's when the unnecessary parts fall off and the new parts grow in. For instance, evolution is a pollywog to a frog or a tadpole to a frog. That's evolution. Yes. Butterfly, caterpillar to butterfly. That's evolution. Words don't do that. You keep the word and you add to it. So all of the words in all of the world, well, let's remove the, I'm talking Western, a Proto-Indo-European pie chart, and I am only referring to the first 3/4 of the grid. So that's what I mean when I say like 3/4, like not all of it, but all the Proto-Indo-European, the majority of the Proto-Indo-European languages. The word stack. So the question is, who came up with the first stack? And the first stack always came from, well, there's basically two questions. There's the 16th century, and that's usually when it's morphed onto something else. You see, books had been introduced into the culture. And because books had been introduced into the culture, they were able to create new words. So there was an oral gap from the 4th century to the 16th century, where everything was oral tradition. This has been forgotten. This has been forgotten. That you have oral tradition from the 4th century to the 16th century. And no one took that into account. When people look at an ancient religion, they're thinking about up to the point of it being written down by Moses, or they're thinking about up to the point of when Christ wrote it all down, but you forget. You forgot that in the 4th century, all education was destroyed. So there was no writing anything. That's why there's no documentation from the 4th century to the 16th century. No documentation. That's why we don't know when people were born. Think. So you had oral tradition now from the 4th century. The moment those morons said, this is the new religion, it's called Nicene Christianity, boom, oral tradition. Nicene. It's from the city Nicaea, where they came up with the creed, Nicene Creed. And so Christianity's real name, true name, first name was called Nicene Christianity. Nicene Christianity is what was introduced to you. That's what you forgot. But there were no written anything in the 4th century because they destroyed all the writing, everything. So they were without all education for literally 1,000 years. Okay, 600 years. 600 years without education. But even then, the majority of people did not educate. So you had a gossip for at least 600 years before the Bible would have been written down. All of this history is muddled so badly, there isn't going to be a strip of truth in it left. I would say that all the religions that we have might be 10% true, each of them. You can trust maybe 10%. The thing is, what's going to actually determine the truth is if you lay all the religions side by side and compare the common denominators. That'll show you the true religion. It's the common denominators of King Solomon and Zoroaster. 100 and I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. I cannot, I will not guess. I don't know. I don't guess. I do not guess. I could not understand this about me until now. I do not guess. It's illogical to guess. Why would you ever guess? Why would you ever guess? You mean you want me to trial and error? Because I won't guess. I will calculate strategically, use logic and with the right order of information, but I will not guess. I just don't guess. And it really changed my relationship with knowledge. That did a lot of shaping my relationship with knowledge. There was never, you know what? It's probably because I'm Irish. You know what the Irish did? They created the Guinness Book of World Records. Do you know why they created the Guinness Book of World Records? Because they would get into arguments over statistics while they're drunk. And they realized, oh, we got to write this shit down. So they started to write it down. They started to publish the statistics just for the Irish to stop fighting. It was Google. The Irish created Google. That is what the Guinness Book of World Records is. It's Google. It is the Irish going, oh no, that's not what happened. No, you know what did happen. And they're back and forth with it. And Guinness Book of World Records. That'll set it out. So don't think that it's the technology that's disrupting the child. Trust me, this has been going on long before we had Google. We had the Guinness Book of World Records before we had Google. Guinness Book of World Records. The real Google. The first Google. I'll let them figure that out. The first Google. I would love to see a friendly competition between Guinness Book of World Records and Google. Like that would be some amazing like merged marketing of the two of them coming together. Who is going to face off? I'm the first Google. I can see rap battles now. Google versus Guinness Book of World Records. That would be amazing. I want that. Make it so. So the question of when is it unethical? And the question was, or the answer that I came up with is, you would have to have them capable of fully understanding. You don't fully understand the risk until you're here. You will not fully understand the risk until you are here. You cannot know the risk until you are here. I cannot educate you in that. So until I can give you anything, I cannot guarantee this is for you. I cannot. Some people, this is not going to be okay for. You should not do it. You have to decide if this is for you. I do not want anyone doing this program who has suicidal ideation until we have the science to walk you through it safely. That is my biggest priority, is getting the science to walk those with suicidal ideation through this safely. Everyone else is a very strict, do it at your own risk. It's going to change your life. It's going to absolutely put you at pure truth if you do it properly. You will learn how to speak faster than everyone else until you get to a point where you won't be able to communicate with anybody. You will become incompatible with illogic. And right now, that's a world out there of pure logic. And I cannot walk through it. Until the majority of people change logical code. So I don't know whatever the fuck the science is. It is new. It is unheard of. It is so new that I am calling it whatever the fuck the science is. It came right out of Pythagoras' brain, into Plato's, into mine. I have Plato's brain inside my brain. I'm getting to a point where I am disagreeing with Plato on a few fronts. And it's weird, because now I'm at this point and I'm going back at his work and I'm going, ooh, I don't agree with you there. Ooh, I don't like that. No, you get. So I'm going, oh, I'm at that point. So now I can see the logical fallacy in Plato's work. There. Now that's a definition I think everyone can understand. I am an Ashavana. I can see logical error in Plato's work. Plato taught Aristotle. So Aristotle got it wrong. Hi. Aristotle would be my peer. Aristotle would be my peer. Aristotle took his education from Plato. So did I. But I was able to see a logical fallacy in Plato's code. Aristotle didn't. So Aristotle took his code and passed it along incorrectly. I'm his other student. I got it right. I see what Plato was really teaching. Plato did not copy from Pythagoras correctly, which is why it did not pass on down that line properly. Or this knowledge was lost when all of Rome destroyed all of ancient Greece. They took the words away from them. That's why they kept the religion. They kept everything. They just took the language. That is how Rome destroyed Greece. I have been trying to figure this out for a long time. All they did was banish the language. You banish the language and you change the culture. So Rome banished the Grecian language. And replaced it with the Roman language. You just replace the language. All you have to do is replace the language. That's how you take over a country. You just replace the language. You are all speaking the language of Rome. You are all speaking a language that was encapsulated in the Roman educational system that was created in 1088 CE when people who were so educated or uneducated that the king couldn't even speak grammar and thought he was above it. When the arrogance and the narcissism and the ignorance was at its worst, that is when Rome said, maybe we should put together an educational system for people. And these dumbasses are the ones who built your educational system. The ones who were in the middle of the Dark Ages who went, maybe we do need an educational system. What should it look like? Well, what have we got left over from Greece after we destroyed them? And then they had to go back and dig out everything that they destroyed. And then they had to figure out in the remains. The Crusades started. The Crusades were looking for knowledge. The Crusades were looking for education. They had none. They invaded Normandy, that's why William the Conqueror went to England in 1066 AD. They were looking for knowledge. That's why they launched war on Islam, Muslim, because that's where the first knowledge was. They had to go back to Alexandria. That's why. That's why I could not figure out what they were going back to the Solomon's Temple for. I could not figure out what they were doing there. It was driving me crazy. Why would they go to Solomon's Temple? Like, there's something there. I'm like, they were looking for Solomon's Temple. What were they looking for? Wisdom. They were looking for knowledge. That's why the Crusades happened. They were scrounging around for wisdom because they destroyed it and they had no idea. They couldn't even go to another country and say, excuse us, could you please give us some knowledge? They didn't even think to do that. They were too stupid. So they launched a war on another culture and destroyed them. Not knowing that when you're knowledgeable and educated, you want to give it away. And what they pulled out of there was knowledge and wisdom, which is what the Knight Templars were. They were in charge of studying it. They were priests. They were scholars. They needed scholars to build an educational system. They were the smartest people in the world at that time. That is who the Knight Templars were. They were the only ones who had a chance at being able to translate education. And they translated it. 1088 is when the first university was built. But they did not have Plato yet. They didn't even know about Plato. They had to scrounge it. I believe the Vatican had a lot of it. They moved education carefully, just knowledge. And you can see how knowledge and education moves through history. You can see where it pops up. Like it's trying to get through, and it's growth. It's pure growth. So this whole thing has been literally a way to enslave its people is by taking away its growth. That's what they did. They enslaved us in slavery, pure slavery, take away their growth. We are enslaved in slavery. They weaponized slavery against us. And when you study free will, the truth comes out. When you study free will, the truth comes out. So that's a really simple assignment for you. Study free will. And there is your truth. That is a really great metric. That is a really great metric. I think I finally found my groove, my place with these things. It was not easy getting here. It was not fucking easy at all. Getting to a point where I didn't even have words for everything. It was so frustrating. And I knew I was angry because I just couldn't say it. And I was just like, how much better at education and communication do I have to get in order to just speak? Why is my speech not up to where it should be still? And finally realizing that we have 3 speeds inside of us. And this is what this is. You have 3 speeds inside of you. And the more you know about your 3 speeds, it's literally your logic, your words, and your synapses. They must align. Your synapses should never go faster than your logic or your words. These 3 things have got to be aligned. You can never learn faster than your logic. Your logic has got to stay in pace with your synapses and your words. The problem is your synapses is going faster and faster the more educated you get. But is your logic? Is your words? Now, your logic will absolutely speed up with your synapses, but you haven't studied word, which means you have an entire chain missing. Now, the problem is words carry the energy. Remember, I am unwanted and I am weed. Same, 2 different words, unwanted and weed. Same energy. Learn from that. Because when you start to learn how every word feels, you can start to match up your own common denominator of a feeling. Wait a minute. This feels like this. But that's that word, but that's that feeling. That feeling doesn't match this feeling, but that word, that's not the right word. That's how I did it. I had my own knowing of my own feeling, and I knew words, and I could read and match feelings first. So I had to define the feeling of love. I had to define the feeling of friend. Now, once I did that, once I defined the feeling, then I was able to recognize the opposite or what it wasn't, the dichotomy of it. And I realized I needed love, I needed home, I needed friend, I needed humility, I needed arrogance. I needed to know what every one of these feelings felt so that I could identify them, so that I could memorize the feeling. That way, when I have someone giving me a word and I can feel it and I can say to them, that does not match this energy. The energies don't match. If the energies don't match, it's a lie. If the energies match, it's a truth. Now we're talking the same language. If you have matched energy, it's truth. If you have unmatched energy, it's a lie. That is how I reversed engineered lying and truth. I was able to figure out that whatever knowledge I had as logical truth could be compared to my feelings. And I was able to build off of that so that every time someone spoke to me, I could feel the word and I could compare that to what I knew it to be. And I could tell, oh, that's not true. Which is why somebody says hello to me, and in about 5 sentences or less, I can figure out everything about them because I can see their lie pattern. I can see their lie pattern. I can see the lie pattern. It's a lie pattern. I discovered / invented the lie pattern. That's one of the things you get in whatever the fuck this science is. You get to start breaking down the lie pattern. And I'm sitting here talking to people and everyone's like, oh yeah, that's physics. Oh yeah, that's biology. And I'm going, no, this is something else. And now it's like branched off. It's morphed into this whole nother weird creature. And I'm going, ooh, wow, this is new, whatever the fuck this science is. And I realized as soon as I name it, that's naming rights. I'm done. This falls under the whatever the fuck this science is. And now I am free to tell you whatever the fuck I want to tell you because it all falls under whatever the fuck this science is. And here's the beautiful part. Ready, scientists? The part that sounds familiar to you is what you have to study in order to get here. So the common denominators of whatever the fuck this science is all of the clues you need to put together a curriculum to get here. And then I will approve it because there's a curriculum. There's a fucking curriculum. Plato had a curriculum. You just had to know how to read it. Eventually, we're going to get through all of the lies. And the more of the lies you know about, the more you're going to be able to fix your growth because you got a tree in your radiator. So a lie is like having a tree in your radiator. Your car's going to want to go. That's you symbolizing the growth. But you got a car with a tree in your radiator. So that tree is crammed up into your radiator and you can't go anywhere. So if you remove the tree from your radiator, your car's going to go just fine. So you all just got trees in your radiator. So go read Sophie's World. It'll fix your brain. So I wrote the books, but I didn't want to be the author after I wrote the books. I'm like, I wrote the books. I don't want to be the author. I don't want to be the one who walks around and goes, I'll read my Bible. I don't want to be in this role. I want to be the person who goes, wow, this is fucking amazing shit. You got to try this out. But I can't do it if Jostein Gaarner did it. So now I can just point a finger at him. And I've got my own books of it. So now you can compare, which is cool. But now I get to tell you how awesome Jostein Gaarner is. And how he saved my life. Because he did. And I'm trying to figure out a way to reach him and be like, dude, if I had not read your book, I had the same feeling when I wrote to Wikipedia. It was this overwhelm of just, what an honor. Wikipedia saved my life. These beautiful geniuses all teamed together in my darkness, and they got me through it. You know what? I didn't want to be the person to sit here and promote myself. I really hated that role. I wanted to tell you where the credit is really due. The credit is due to Ayn Rand and Shakespeare and Da Vinci and Van Gogh, because every one of their books developed a relationship with me. And every one of their books unraveled a part of my mind and put it back together again for me. Because these are the men who figured out this code and went, oh my God, I can embed it into a book. And they did. But they hadn't refined the code. They hadn't perfected it. So it got passed down onto the next one. Visions are dreams. Visions are dreams you have when you are awake. Visions are dreams. You have to interpret them. Your visions need to be interpreted. They are metaphorical. Because identity only knows how to speak in story and in image. So as a result, your visions are going to show up sometimes as really big, awesome ass, amazing cartoon. Sometimes. And that is because identity is 5 and she has a sense of humor, and no one has shown up yet to say, Anna, whatever the fuck the science is, has got to really be like, you need a board, Anna. I don't want a board. I mean, I do want a board, but I want to have a round table. A round table. Our board is going to be a round table. You want the board? The board will have a round table, and they will be knights. My board is going to have knights, and they got to be knighted. You want whatever the fuck the science is to have King Arthur and the rights of knights of his round table. They've got to take the ethical oath and be sworn in like doctors that no unethical science practices go beyond these walls. That is my law. There is no room for unethical science here. I do believe my students are scientists. Now. Yeah. I didn't even think to teach to these guys. They're the nerds. I'm a nerd. They're the scientists. I'm a scientist. But every time I looked at them, I saw men. So I didn't see me there at all. And that is why I bypassed the men. That's why I never counted myself among them. Because I don't see many girls. So I'm a girl scientist. I'm the first. This is how girls do science. Fuck you. This is how girls do science. I out-scienced you all. And I'm a girl. And the thing is, the scientists would be cheering me on. That's the beauty about scientists. They love this stuff. I was talking to one dude, and he went, oh my God, you're a polymath. I went, I have no idea what that is. I said, I'm an idiot savant. He goes, no. He goes, you are like Avashana. That's what I am. I'm Avashana. And he's like, you're a polymath. And we're talking. And at one point, I'm talking about the Coriolis force. And he went, oh my fucking God, a girl who knows what the Coriolis force is. And it's the first time I heard it. oh my God, a girl who knows what the Coriolis, this is like the most beautiful things in the world. A girl who knows what the Coriolis force is. I'm like, yeah, the Coriolis force is like, all right. So this is it. This is it right here. I just realized something. I just realized something. I know what I am. I just realized something. There are not very many girls in the science field. And it has been a very long time. I'm going to do it. Fuck it, I'm here. I am beautiful, and I am smart, and I'm a girl, and I'm a scientist. I did it. And I didn't want to go this path. I didn't want to go this road because I was afraid of what you guys would do. I could very easily step forward and be, I am the poster child of feminism. No, I could do that so easily. This is for feminists everywhere. I could do it. I could lead them. The problem is, I'm not angry with men. I'm not. I am angry at the schools because I'm smart enough to know men aren't the ones who did this to us. The schools did. Because the schools aren't run by actual educators. There's a lot of people who care, who are there, but that's not who run it. Our educators are so uneducated that none of them challenged or even thought that one of them should be the one in charge. The government is in charge of your education. Look at how your government is running the country. Everyone look outside. Now look at the way the government is running your schools. Do we understand each other? You just need 3 points of data. So I don't know whatever the fuck this science is. And I spent more time trying to figure out whatever the fuck the science was than just calling it whatever the fuck the science is. Because until I have a name, I cannot tell you what this is. And everything I came up with after this point are subgenres of this. So there's where you guys are. And then there's subgenres. And then there's subgenres and I'm here. And I'm going, this is officially something new. And there's more coming. And I'm officially growing faster than I can think. Yes, I am growing faster than I can think. And it was amazing to see. It's going to be automated soon. I think I'm just learning a pattern, and I think I'm just trying to plug it in. And I just didn't have the words. And I was so close, and I felt like I was doing so much talking, and I'm like, I can say this so much easier. And I knew at that point, I wasn't at Plato's point. I was still integrating. And I was getting so tired of just not being done integrating. And every time you integrate, it's disorienting. because you have to figure out, it's exactly like Doctor Who. It's like regeneration in Doctor Who. And you're going, all right, I'm cooking. And you got 3 days where everything's weird. And you're going, all right, I'm a man. It feels like that. Exactly like that. And you can't explain this stuff without sounding like an idiot. But you can put it in a book and hope it changes people. Now that to me is unethical. Very unethical. I can't do that. It's the one, and this is where it got interesting. Why am I the one questioning the ethics of giving something to you without you having a proper disclosure? Why am I different? I love you, Jostein Gaarner, but you did not ask my permission when I sat down and read Sophie's World. That bothered me. When I wrote Broken, I was not expecting it to help people, but when I started to see how it was helping people, all of them the same way, I went, oh my God, I'm onto something. Broken disintegrates trauma. Breaking Delusion integrates it. So when you read Broken and Breaking Delusion, you go through the disintegration and then the integration. It reverse engineers trauma for you. My books are the formula. So it deconstructs the trauma and then reconstructs you. My books are it's beautiful. And then from there, it goes into the manuals. And I've got 2 manuals. The first manual is Theory of Love. The second manual is the Salmon of Knowledge. And then I got halfway through Salmon of Knowledge and I went, I don't want to write anymore. I want to talk. And this came over me and I just started talking here. And trying to explain to you what I am. Trying to find words in your vocabulary that you will understand. So I said, Jesus. I said everything I could possibly think of, just trying to get you to understand me. And no words made sense. But Ashavana does. Ashavana. That is my name. That is my name. Which is really cool because my dragon's named is Asha. So that's really cool. Asha and Ashavana. And I don't know. Sometimes I think when a person studies an educational system, their faces start to take on shape into whatever culture you read. It's extraordinary to me. It's as if the language has spell work right inside of it to conform your face into whatever it is the language was put there. So as you choose a language, you become it, which explains why I have a Latino corazón. That would explain that. A Latino corazón. Why do I have Latino inside of me? Because he is. You trade your culture with them. That's what a bond is. Your breath is your heritage. Oh, that's beautiful. Your breath is your heritage. And you swap heritage. You swap heritage when you bond. You swap heritage when you bond. Wow. Your energy might be married before you. There. There, I can translate. You're married, yeah. Some of us have energy that's been previously married. You see, I don't have a drop of Latino in my it's not there. I do not have any, none, zero. I am not Latino, but I'm Latino. It's weird. The same feeling and pull I had for Puerto Rican culture, Spanish culture, all of it, really Puerto Rican culture, was, I first noticed that when I was 8. Something about it just, that's it. 8. And it felt exactly like my Irish self, identical to my Irish self. That's why I read Don Quixote Cervantes. It was because I was so in love with Spanish. Because my energy was previously married. And it's taken me this long to figure it out. Now, I've known this, but I didn't know the feeling of it. And then when you find that person, it's like, oh, that explains everything about me. And when you do the marriage in whatever the fuck this science is, you bond like exactly like a molecule, but you swap. So it's like you take a part of your heritage and put them in theirs, and then they put. It's almost as if you have to match up. And my partner was looking for an Irish girl. Isn't that funny? He loves the color red. It really bothered me. I was born a redhead. Really fucking bothered me. My red hair did not stay. That broke my heart. You have no idea. I was so mad. And every now and then I stand in the sun and I have red hair. And then people are like, oh, your hair is black. Excuse you. And then when I stand in the sun, I'm a redhead. And they're like, oh. So your energy, your breath, really, that's what it's called. It's your breath. It is your soul. It is your heritage. I can feel it because I can feel their names. I can feel them. Your breath is your heritage. That is who you are. It is your heritage. And if you have an unexplained heritage inside of you, it's because that's where your partner is. And guess what? That's the pull you get. That is the pull you get. Which explains why I am in New York City, is because my partner's here. And he's Latino. Because he left his mark inside of me. So I'm in the right place. A lot of people are remembering, and that's starting to open up. Because this is whatever the fuck this science is. And it's starting to open up. When you start to remember and that starts to come back, you're going to feel this pull to go to wherever you need it to go. Go there. Listen to it. There's going to be a massive amount of people divorcing, massive amounts of people waking up and remembering, massive amounts of people going, I'm sorry, I never loved you. Other people going, I am in the wrong place. I am in the wrong marriage. And you're going to have a massive amount of people who just get up and relocate. And honestly, when that happens, a lot of things are going to settle. You're going to see a lot of things calm down. So when you plan on this, plan on it. Now, you might already have gotten lucky and found the person you found your match. You may have been one of those persons. But this is something we all have to be really fucking real about. Is there's going to be a lot of us waking up soon. And we are not going to be happy with who we are married to. We are not going to be happy with our location. And it's going to be an instant, no, I got to fix this. So it's the massive, I call it a migration. I expect it to be an absolute migration where everyone just wakes the fuck up en masse and says, I'm not in the right place. I've already sing songs of it. So now this is the official weather report of whatever the fuck the science is. Do. Now on this. What is that called? Now. What is it? What is it? Now. That's history now. But there's something else.
Next time.
No, it was like just this. Oh, I can't remember. This just in. And this just in.
That's like a news report.
That's exactly what this is. This just in. It's my cheesy news reports. Dun, 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 dun. Migration. So on migration, this is what you can expect. There's going to be a lot of people waking up and a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, I don't love you. I never did. I'm a girl. I'm moving to Tokyo. That's going to happen a lot. A lot. It's just the migration effect. It's going to be devastating. And it's going to be okay. People do not grow at the same rate. This is a fact. You do not grow at the same rate. You grow at different rates. So the closer you are to where you grow, your grow point, the faster you speed up. So the more you grow, the faster you grow. And you're going to have to learn how to synchronize your growth so that it's all aligned. Now, children are naturally born like this. So if you just leave them alone, it's fine, but parents don't. They derail their logic, they derail their speech, and all that's left is their synapses. So right away, the child's synapses by age 2 are working and nothing else. They're not running logic, they're running improper logical code, and they are, well, their speech is immediately stunted. And that's, again, from 2 and on. As soon as they say the word no, the whole thing gets derailed. So as people start to heal, they're going to realize, they're going to become more aware of their intuition and also their breath. As you become aware of your breath is not your energy. Your breath is not your frequency. Your breath is your soul. Your emotions are your energy. Your feelings come from your breath. Your emotions come from your cognitive core. Your breath can be felt in your chest, near your heart chakra. Your emotions are felt in your head. Have you ever noticed that? Feelings, emotions. Feelings, emotions. These ones are true. These ones are temporary. These tell you precisely what you need to operate in your cognitive core in order for it to function properly. This is your truth. This is your truth. That's why we say feel with our heart, not with our head. Emotions are up here. It's the chemical response on whether or not you are thinking, taking action, being curious, planning. So as people start to learn to tell the difference between their breath and their energy or emotions, they're going to be able to manage their entire system more efficiently. And when they do that, they're going to be able to learn the language, because this is all a language. This is body language on a level. This is whatever the fuck the science is, body language. I can't call it body language because we cannot afford confusion. So now I have to call this a new language. I'm really tired of naming shit. So I'm going to call this new language. because I don't have a board telling me how to do my science right now. I mean, trust me, I got a scientific method. It's really fucking advanced. This new science. So, language. Oh, I can call this abstractic. Oh, that's easy. I will call it abstractic. I already named it. Thank God. Yes, this is what I refer to as abstractic. So when you start using the language of abstractic, it is literally scientifically designed to remove all disease. I scientifically designed a new language. Yep. And I speak it fluently. So the more I sit here and talk, the more you learn my language. You hear how I interact with my daughter. You hear what I say. You hear what I don't say. You hear how I say it because I'm speaking with pure abstractic. When you speak with pure abstractic, it's literally a language that revolves around and moves around the 12 ethics. So that every word you say has an ethical metric on, is this correct? Is this true? Yes, then you may say it. Is this correct? Is this true? Is this correct? Is this true? Now, wait a minute. Is this correct? Is this true? Is this nice? Kind. Kind. Is this kind? The ethic of kindness. You know, every time I heard the word kindness, it felt fake to me. I wouldn't use it because it was fake to me. I know I'm a mean fucking bitch. I know I am a bitch. Because I didn't know how to be kind without faking it. And I will not fake it. And I kept looking for the ethic of kindness, and I couldn't find it. Every time I talked to anybody and they were kind, I never found a single person who actually was doing kind authentically. No one does kind authentically except one man. That's how I found out. Because when he did kindness, oh, it was authentic. It was authentic. And when I saw his authentic kindness, I could see everybody else's inauthentic kindness, and they didn't match. So I learned kindness from him. But I couldn't do it until I learned it. I found the 12 ethics in my partner. And I went, you're living with the 12 ethics. You're talking like you have the 12 ethics. Which means you know about the 12 ethics. Because you don't know this knowledge unless you know it. So he knows it. He knows it. And lately, these last day, I felt kindness for the first time. And I couldn't even recognize it. It was all morning. I sat there with this feeling in my chest and I'm like, what the hell is this thing? And I'm at the 46th or 47th expansion. And I'm feeling kindness for the first time. I'm 9th in. That's what this is. This is the 9th. So let me show you what happened. So these are tiers. So this is like the 4th tier of empathy. Kindness is the 4th tier of empathy. I could not figure it out. And here's the thing is, none of you know what kind is. You're using nice for kind because you don't know. You're guessing. I thought that was strange. I'm like, why is everyone guessing what they think kindness is when they just don't do it? And I met a couple people and I'm like, that's not it. That's not kindness. That's a mask. That's not kindness. And then I met my partner and I went, no, that's kindness. That is kindness. And it was real. I wanted it. I wanted it so badly. And I had no idea how to do it without actually learning it. So I had to learn it. But in order to learn something, you have to indulge on the opposite first. Which means if you want to learn kindness, you have to learn how to be mean first. This is learning, guys. But I had never been mean in my life. That's true. I had never been mean in my life. Until now. So that was my first mean. I was mean. It was a very ethical mean, I'm happy to say. But here's really what I want to show you is I'm where I'm at, and I'm at the 46th, 47th level in. And now I'm getting kindness. If you don't know how to be kind, don't fake it. Be authentic. It's okay to not know how to be kind. In order to learn kindness, you have to be mean first. If you were a mean toddler, you got it out of your system. You really want to get the mean streak out of your system young because you have to be mean to learn how to be kind. But if you are a child who is never mean, that's what your anger is. It's the deficit. It's the suppression of I will never be mean. But you have to be so mean that you flip that switch and you become good. It's the only one I hadn't been able to do. That was my biggest fear, was being mean. And the 10th ethic is emotional fluidity. So when I started to get into the feeling of you got to be mean, it's time to be mean. I wanted to be mean. I went 10th ethic, emotional fluidity. The emotion is already all right, or is always right. Okay. And I trusted my intuition and I was mean. And I got to a point where I felt sorry for you, for me. And that was the learning. I had to feel sorry for you, for me. And that's when you feel sorry. That is sorry. It's when you realize, wow, I was mean. I'm sorry. Boom, you've learned. Now you can start being nice. And sure enough, after that, I got really nice because I finally got it out of my system. And that is why Christ got angry. That is why he exploded. Because he also did not go through it. So there's like two sides to this science, whatever the fuck this science is. There's two sides to it that there's inside the story participation. So there's literally inside the story. And that's when I go dimension walking. And then there is the story side of it when I go nuts and I just want to play because I haven't been able to play all my life. And then I have this, and that's it. My life has been survive, work, survive, work, survive, work, survive, work. And I want to play so bad. And then I have the inside story, inside the story today. And then I have this the teaching science. And I don't want to teach in science because that is work and I'm just maxed out at my work. But I'm not where I need to be in life so I can go play. So I have to work. And I cannot put this work down to go play until I have it done. And I'm tired. I am so tired. I am really, really tired. Because this has been literally nonstop scientific research since 2015. And in that time, I broke out of slavery. I reverse engineered my brain. I fixed and cured myself. I relocated my area where I was in. I escaped from that, removed my children, went through 5 jobs, had 3 car accidents, lost 2 cars, had a divorce, lost 2 boyfriends, and watched both of my grandfathers die. Wow, my daughter disowned me. So that's been my life over the last 3 years. I lived 40 years in 3 years because I had to grow up my subconscious mind fast. But you can't know this knowledge and not share it. So I got this whole, you got to get this out. And I'm just like, I know what I've discovered. I know what I've got. And trying to explain it, I kept going in this massive circle around and around again, where so I was just working. I was doing the teaching. I was doing the science. I was doing the business. And it was just not anything I wanted to do. I wanted to play. And it got to a point where I poured everything out. I had people coming in going, wow, this is extraordinary. For me, it's garbage. It's a low quality. This is a rough draft. It's out there. This is my rough draft. And I think I'm at a point now where I can finally put the science down and I can play. And I can just be me and tell you my story. But sometimes I'm going to dimension walk. And I just want to play. I just want to play my game. I want to talk. I want to translate this weird shit for you. And I want to talk about whatever the fuck this science is. And I don't want to market this. I don't want to market this. I just want to be out here talking about it and putting on this really stupid show. And in order for you to do that, you've got to know what this is. So when your friends say, what the fuck are you watching? You can say, I don't know, it's some weird shit, man. It's unimagination and her weird shit. Well, what does she talk about? Whatever the fuck this science is, man. Well, what do you mean? Well, she discovered a new science. And it's now just this really fucking weird shit. You know, I see those conversations in my head. And I'm going, what are those conversations going to be? Well, she's a really hot chick and a nerd at the same time. There's no such thing. She's fiction. That's what they're going to say because I'm a scientist and I'm hot. Permission to call me the hot scientist, the hot girl scientist. Yes, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Part of me wants to. I remember when Legally Blonde came out. That was really fucking offensive. I was really fucking pissed about that. It did not at all inspire me to do anything. Yeah. I've never talked about my anger on this topic. When I saw Legally Blonde, what I saw was a bunch of assholes thinking that if you're blonde, you have to be stupid. Thinking that if you're beautiful, you have to be stupid. And even though she was stupid and hot, she still managed to out-logicize that courtroom. But they made her stupid. It was fucking offensive. They didn't actually make her smart. That's the irony. of the fucking movie. They didn't make her smart. They made her stupid. And then they tried to pass that off as, oh, look, she's really smart. No, you're telling a story of a dumb blonde. Well, she's not dumb. She didn't know. She behaved exactly like a dumb blonde. But they hid it under their moral of the story while still calling her stupid and flaky. And the only time you really connected with her was when she got lucky in the courtroom because she made one stupid little connection. That was not smart. That was fucking luck. If she was really as smart as they wanted to pull her off to be, they would have rewritten the whole film so that she was like this. She wouldn't be flaky and cute. And no, that's not how it goes. Because you're treated like shit in the real world. So that toughens you up. That's why beautiful women are so bitchy. It's because they've been beaten the most. They talked about my actual value in front of me like I was merchandise. My husbands did. My brothers did. My father did. They actually talked about me in front of me over my worth. And then my aunt went over to the Hebrew Jewish religion for her marriage. And the woman had to give her a physical to assess her value because it was a tradition. It wasn't a tradition for my family. So I never thought about doing the inspiration bit. I never thought about taking that road because I did not want it to overshadow my science. That's it. I did not want this to anything my science. I did not want it to detract from the science. The purpose is the science. And I thought about inspiring people, and I don't like it because the science is what matters. Whatever the fuck this science is. I was never inspired by a woman scientist. I wasn't. I was inspired by science. I didn't need a woman to be first, to want to be first. I just wanted science. I didn't want, and I never once thought, oh, there's no woman scientists, therefore I can't. That didn't happen. My father directly told me that he did not want me to go to college because I should be a breeder. So I was a breeder. I wasn't allowed to go to college. I was a breeder. I didn't want to be a breeder. So I pulled a Yentl. That's what I did. The only time I hated men or boys is when I was jealous that they had the full access to the educational system and I didn't. That I just wanted to be a boy. That way I could access the knowledge. And then I realized I can access the knowledge. I could just like buy a book. And then it wasn't a gender issue. But then I got smart, and my father did not like me smarter than my brother. So he would beat my brother to try and get him smarter than me. Except I was doing advanced multiplication at 5. And then my father would beat my brother for it. That is a connection I did not make. That I got to watch my brother be beaten every time I did math, which is probably why I struggle with math. So once you have the name for something, once you have all of the names, it's the allowance of being able to communicate in a very simple statement what it is you need to say. When Shakespeare asked us, what is in a name? He was literally trying to break Plato's point with you to start the integration process. That's why he wrote Romeo and Juliet at the point of what's in a name, because he was trying to set off the first question to get it started. He failed. That's why it didn't work. Every one of these authors asks a question, and every one of them sets off a chain reaction. The problem is you have to ask the right question, which is why Douglas put it inside his book. You have to ask the right question. He thought the question was, what is the meaning to life, the universe, and everything? And at that time in the growth, it is the question. That is the question. You see, these questions that each person asks in the book is the question that unlocks the next perspective. So when Shakespeare asks, what's in a name? That is what you are supposed to reverse engineer. What is in a name? And then when you read his next play, To Thine Own Self Be True. What is truth? Now you start unraveling that piece. So that all you have to do is give a single word, a definition, and then you tear it apart and you disintegrate it. And then you reconstruct it with description and definition. This is definition, which is why it becomes an image, which is now something you can transfer over into the next stage of its growth. This is how it's done. So that if I just give you certain words to go look at the history, just look at the history of these words. Go back to these words. So all you have to do is read a dictionary, read 5 to 10 words. Your brain will completely organize itself and you'll go, oh, and everything will change. All I have to do is give you about 10 words. I will be simplifying those 10 words into one word eventually. When I get the one word and tell you, go look up this meaning. So now I can say the words to you, look up Ashavana, look up Rata. Look up Ashavana, look up Rata. Look up Zarathustra or Zoroaster. Pay attention to Pythagoras. Pay attention to Plato. Go back to King Solomon. Read Sophie's World. This will get your brain going. This will just start up your brain. And doing chunks like that instead allows me to take a massive step back and just play the NPC, because I cannot walk you through this because that's enabling. So what I really need to do is just sit back and just NPC this thing. I give you small direction. I point you in the right direction. I have you go wherever you need. And it's all embedded in the videos. You just start at the beginning and you walk your way through. But I have different people coming in with different needs. So you're going to need to start at the prep. Some of you aren't going to need the prep. Others are going to be able to start at a different point and you move from there. So as you move through the program to your own need. Now, here's the problem. If you do not start at the right space, you may need to go back a further space. So here's a concern. If you choose wrong for yourself and you miss the catalyst, it won't work. You've got to make sure you go to the beginning of your catalyst, which means a lot of people are going to need the prep. And that's where I call everyone stupid a lot, because some people need it, but not everybody. So then there's going to be a lot of people choosing to skip over the prep because they don't want to hear it. Now, it's going to be one of two groups. It's going to be the group who guesses correct. It's going to be the group that guesses wrong. So the group that guesses correct gets to go through the material just fine. Then there's going to be the group who listens to it because they want to make sure, but they don't need it. But they went through it anyway. And when they walked through it, they had that moment there where they went, okay, it wasn't for me. And it should have no effect. You have to have the second ethic for that. But if you're the person who walks through the prep and you get pissed off, and then you come at me at some point because you're all angry and pissed off, and you say everything wrong with everything I said, here's the kicker. It was meant for you, and it was about you. Because the people who didn't need it knew to skip it. And the people who wanted to be sure went through it. And they're the ones who walked away and said, yeah, that wasn't for me. And the people who were changed and transformed because of it, oh, that was for them. But it wasn't about them. And those are the people who it was for. But you're going to have that last group where it's for you, but it's also about you, and you're the one who gets angry about the prep. So go through it. You're going to have to decide for yourself if it is or is not for you. After that, everything else just cleans up. And you also get to see me learning kindness, but I had to be mean first. It's extraordinary. I like to say that when I did choose to be mean, it was with purpose. So yes, it was the first time in my life I was truly mean, and it was done on purpose with purpose. So I'm just saying that. Yeah, I did it on purpose, but with purpose. So I'm happy about that. It was ethical meanness. It was ethical meanness. And then I got to this point and I'm going, okay, now this is kindness. So now I'm going to be really nice and I'm going to indulge in kindness for a while. And when I get to the end of kindness, I'm going to switch again, and it's going to be the integration of kindness and meanness coming together. But it's going to be a nice balance, and that's where we're all supposed to be. So that is coming up in my development. You're going to be able to see that. That's really cool. So that's all I'm going to say now. This concludes this episode of Whatever the Fuck This Science Is. Thank you for watching on Imagination and Her Weird Shit. May the truth always find you.